pull up a chair. This is Off the Back Porch. Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer is brought to you in part by Country Village Sporting Goods. Everything you need to get in the woods, the water, or to the camp is at Country Village Sporting Goods. Jason Hardy State Farm. Like a good neighbor, Jason Hardy at State Farm is there. And Larry's Pizza in El Dorado, home of the Double Pizza Parade.
20 plus years of bringing you the most important and latest information with local happenings, news, sports, opinions, and probably an attempt at humor. Also brought to you in part by Davis Farms Country Market. For farm to table fresh, it's Davis Farms Country Market. Cook's Body Shop. Chances are it will happen. And when it does, look to Cook's. Murphy Arts District. For the latest information on concerts and events, go to eldomad.com.
Recorded live from Main Street Pizza in historic, beautiful downtown El Dorado, Arkansas. With a history of being the voices you trust. This is Off the Back Porch with Boomer and Sandy. Or Sandy and Boomer. Or two old guys you've known for a long time, whatever. And now your hosts, Troy, Boomer, Barrios, and B.A. Sandy Sanford.
Hey, and welcome to another edition of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer. And Boomer, I was thinking about what you said last week, and yes.
I don't remember what I said last week. You got me there. I'm totally speechless.
You said, wouldn't I like to have a Johnny Dean voice? Yes. The answer is yes, I would.
Johnny Dean.
Yeah, the guy who does our intro.
Sure,
You know, he and Chad Whitaker. Either one of them. You know.
If you have a big voice like that and can read with inflections, you got it made.
Right, yeah.
People will be
Pull that a little closer to you.
Pull a little closer to me.
There you go.
Can you make a song out of that? Put a little closer to me. Okay,
I'm sure it's a 70s song of some sort. Yeah.
England Dan and John Ford Coley or somebody.
Yeah. And, of course, England Dan is Dan Seals.
Dan Seals.
The country singer, yeah.
And John Ford Coley is
John Ford Coley. Yeah, that's right.
But Dan Seals went off by himself.
Yeah, he did.
About the girl with the horse and riding up here.
Her name's Casey.
Casey. Yeah.
Little Casey.
Little Casey.
Everything that glitters is not gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Casey found something because she left him. So
No. That was his wife. Casey's his little girl who he raised up.
I've got a bad memory about 70s.
You got a whole lot of bad memories.
Hey, there's a whole lot of stuff that happened in the 70s and 80s that's worth forgetting.
That's right.
That happened to me especially. So.
Yeah, I had a guy I used to work for in Houston, and when I was going to school down there, and he said, man, if you remember the 70s, you weren't there.
Yeah, you weren't there. I want to tell you, it's come out recently that we've kind of divided the boomers.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard this,
Yeah.
that people that were like 47 to 62 or 4 is the whole range of the boomers. Well, there's a group that has called themselves out that we kind of came of age in the 70s that they're calling us the Jones generation.
The Jones generation.
Keeping up with the Jones generation. And we were... we weren't the Woodstock guys, so we were Led Zeppelin and those guys. America, Dan Seals,
right?
Yeah. So I'm a part of the Jones generation.
Okay.
Can't call me Boomer no more. I'm Jones.
All right, well, Jones.
Okay, we can stick with Boomer. I like that.
Yeah, I do too. Mm-hmm. Let's start with a couple of local things that are of a serious nature.
Okay, serious nature. Okay. Here, wait a minute. Let me get.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm serious.
One, the El Dorado School Board met Monday night.
Uh-huh.
And for the third time in less than a year, they were given an alternative calendar to vote on, and they voted it down.
Yeah.
And
can you explain to me? You've covered this on South Arkansas now. Give me the pros and cons of what's going on here.
Okay, so and this is just my understanding.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, I am not an expert. X is a spot on a geographical plane. A spurt is a drip under pressure.
Former drip.
So, the very first alternative calendar was probably a more dramatic change than the one they proposed here recently.
Okay.
It had a lot more breaks throughout the year.
Okay.
And a shorter summer. Mm-hmm. And the thought process there is that what you have are teachers who are saying they're spending the first 5 or 6 weeks of school
Yes.
going over last year's stuff because these kids lose it.
Too much time
in
in the
between.
summer.
And so, and then there's the idea of burnout.
Burnout, I heard that.
And so more breaks throughout the year makes for better attendance, supposedly, and better teacher retention, and doesn't attribute to burnout as much.
But then the cons I heard would be the athletics, that it doesn't sync up with other schools, and you may be off and can't schedule. Does it affect that?
I don't see how that would be affected.
Okay.
I don't. The cons that I have heard, and this is the one that I do give just a little credence to. If you share a child with that child's other parent,
okay,
y'all are not married, y'all are not together.
I got you.
And you share that child, and you have X amount of time when you get said child, it could affect that in some way. However, my thought is, this is September. We're talking about something that will not take place until next August.
Okay.
Surely in the next 11 months, you and Miss Ma'am or you and Mr. Sir
can
figure this out.
Yeah. Or have time to go to court again if it's court appointed.
If you need to, yeah.
Don't want to.
The other argument against it is, well, what are you going to do about child care? Here's my issue with that. What are you doing now? What are you doing now for child care?
In what I read, it doesn't change the amount of time that you're off from school more than just a few days. Isn't that correct? Or a couple of weeks?
It adds some week-long breaks.
Yeah,
in there in like September, October, and February. It adds week-long breaks. So here's the thing. The El Dorado School District has already said, we will keep your kid.
Yeah. 25 a week?
I believe so. I believe
think that's what I
was
read.
some
Good number.
But let's just say you say, no, my kid goes to West Side or First United Methodist or First Baptist or any of the other churches that have daycare or any of the daycare centers. We have 2 or 3 of those in the area. Well, then this district says, well, we will give you a stipend to help pay for that 1 week. My thing is what are you doing with them during the summer?
Yeah, you paying, if you got all that time in the summer, are you just leaving it unattended or with older children or?
Well, okay, let's just say you're leaving with the older children.
Do that every week?
Do that for those weeks, and and some of some kids, some of those college kids, that's their summer job, and they come in and they do that during the summer, and that's how they make a little money, and they won't be available in September, October, and February. Okay. I'm sorry, but I'm not. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
Yeah,
it's not our job to make sure that summer babysitters
have a job.
And so I obviously, personally, this is me personally, I thought it would have been a good idea to make the change. But here's the main reason I thought it would be a good idea to make the change. Last year in the survey, 73% of the teachers and staff of El Dorado School District were in favor of the change.
That's what I was about to bring up, that it was 70-something%. A majority of the teachers wanted the change.
This year it's 76%.
Yeah.
Because this year's calendar is not nearly as drastic as the one they had pitched last year. And so it's 76% this year. Basically, the calendar adds a break for 1 week, like I said, in September, October, February. And numerous studies show it prevents burnout. It makes for better attendance, all those things. You have teachers who stood up at the school board meeting the other night and said, I have to basically get a sub to come when I have a doctor's appointment now.
Yes.
Because all of the teachers, you take all the teachers in Union County and try to give them all a doctor's appointment the week of spring break.
Yeah.
Let's see how that works out.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's not enough doctors to see that many people during spring break. And so that's an issue.
Yes.
So having these breaks split up, one just kind of helps them.
Yeah.
Helps the teachers. In a time, and this is my point, in a time where I think it is extremely difficult to recruit and then retain good teachers, I think we should be doing as much as humanly possible
to
accommodate them.
make it more advantageous to come to El Dorado District.
I saw someone yesterday who said, well, getting $50,000 a year is not mad for a 9-month job. Man,
come on.
F you. Okay, you're an idiot.
You are.
You're an idiot.
You are.
Because let me tell you something. They could pay me $125,000 a year.
I wouldn't put up with your
and
kids.
I wouldn't do it. No. I would not do it.
No.
Another argument, I had someone yesterday post on Facebook, well, it's been this way, so we just need to leave it this way. Well, that's what they said about slavery.
Yeah, in the church chandeliers.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think we have somebody who can play that anyway.
It's been this way since the beginning of time. No, it hasn't, because let me tell you how it hasn't. When I was a kid, Boomer, we started the Tuesday after Labor Day in September.
Yeah, it was always after Labor Day.
So Labor Day was that Monday. You want to turn that off or turn it down?
I tried to.
Because Boomer is more popular than a teenage girl. He will get more texts, Facebook messages, Instagram posts, live TikToks, everything. YouTube. President will call him and ask for his advice, all kinds of stuff. We started the Tuesday after Labor Day.
Labor Day, yeah.
And then the next time we got out of school
was Thanksgiving.
Was that Wednesday. We didn't get a whole week out.
Yeah.
We got out that Wednesday evening.
Uh-huh.
And then you had Thursday, Friday, and you were back in school on Monday. Okay. Now, there may have been a teacher in service day somewhere in there, but for the most part.
On a Monday.
That's September to the end of November. Uh-huh. Okay. Then we got 2 weeks at Christmas. Spring break, at least for me growing up, always followed Easter.
Yes.
So when you had a March, early March Easter, which happens once every 7 or 8 years, we're taking spring break in late February, early March.
Yeah.
Because it was always that week leading up to Easter Sunday.
Okay.
That's when spring break was. Mm-hmm. And then we always were out of school on that Friday before Memorial Day in May. Mm-hmm. That's when we got out.
September to May. That's what we did too. Now we didn't in South Louisiana, you can imagine, we believed in Easter and all that, but we took time off of Mardi Gras.
Yeah, you did have Mardi Gras break.
We had Mardi Gras break there.
Yeah.
So our spring break wasn't that long.
Right. Mm-hmm. So the my thing about, we've always done it this way. No, we haven't. Mm-hmm. We have not.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, not that many years ago in El Dorado, Arkansas, kids were starting school August 24th, 15th, something like that, and now it's moving back more and more and more to where this year they started August 13th. So,
and let me tell you something else too, that you may have experienced it, but when I was in elementary school, I didn't have air conditioning at a school until I got to high school, and it's because they built a new one. The old high school didn't have air conditioner in it either. So, it was made for longer days, and I
can't send them to school in July when there's no air conditioning in the building.
That's why we kind of compressed everything there in South Louisiana.
So those who voted in favor of the alternative calendar were Wayne Gibson, Todd Watley, and Renee Skinner.
Yeah.
And those who were opposed to it was Board President Vicki Dobson. Mm-hmm. And according to SouthArkansasNow.com, here's what she said. She had received numerous texts, calls, and emails, mostly in favor of the alternative calendar, but she was voting no. Susan Tuberville said she knows the price of a babysitter and that the 8-day difference in the summer break would not do anything about the regression. She said, losing that 8 days, that's not enough. It's such a minor difference, it doesn't matter.
So the babysitter price outweighs the thought of regression.
I don't know what her thought process was. This is just what she said.
She said, yeah.
Kenneth Clemens said he knocked on the doors of those who signed the petition to put him on the ballot for the school board, and according to him, many of them were against it. I applaud him for that. If he did that,
his constituents,
good for him. That's exactly what he should have done. Mm-hmm. He said that he felt the district could remain unified even if the measure failed. Well, here's the only thing there, Mr. Clemens, and I'm not attacking anyone.
Yeah.
It's not about the measure. It's that you are ignoring your employees. Yeah. They have plainly told you 3 times now.
Yes.
This is what we're in. We say, we have to give the teachers all the tools. Well, give them the tools.
Yeah.
They're asking for more tools.
Or quit being a tool. Hey, I'm just kidding.
They ignored their employees and constituents. That's good. If there's anything, I don't believe the district is unified right now.
Yeah, I saw that too, and that it's a consensus. If you want to retain, get the best teachers. We've made measures to pay more, but now we need to think about retention.
Yes,
because if you do that to them, well, it's 3 years already. Is that right?
It's this year and next year that they denied that calendar. Yeah.
So,
and other schools around us are doing it, and that's the thing is you have teachers who are already driving from near Fordyce. Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't they just stop in Hampton, who does have that alternative schedule? Mm-hmm. Why would they keep driving all the way to El Dorado when they?
Yep, I'm with you.
I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. I'm saying why wouldn't they?
Yes,
that's a legitimate question.
Yeah.
Keith Smith voted no. He said he's done his own research. However, Keith, you didn't offer that research up.
Yeah.
You held it up. He said, "I've got the data right here."
Okay.
But he never shared said data.
What he found.
Now, let me be very clear. I have reached out to Keith. Keith is a friend of mine. I've reached out to him in an effort to have him come on this podcast and explain to us this data that he has.
Yeah.
Here's what dear school board, there are groups of parents who are right now today putting together groups to find someone to run against each of you. We were contacted yesterday by a group that wants to buy ads on South Arkansas Now. They wanted to buy ads during the football game and wouldn't let them.
Yeah. That's biting the hand that feeds you.
Yeah. But they wanted to buy ads on SouthArkansasNow.com that were basically wanted posters. Okay. Wanted someone to run against X, someone to run against Y, someone to run against Z. Mm-hmm. They are coming for y'all. Mm-hmm. And y'all are standing here acting like the rest of us just don't know what we're talking about. I'm sorry, you're on the wrong side of this issue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've been there. I have been on the wrong side of the issue. I have died on that hill.
Yeah.
And then I looked back and I was like, man, I wish I'd have done that differently.
Let that go. Mm-hmm.
This is one of those times.
Yeah, I think it is. And I don't have a dog or a kid in this fight, and Sandy does. And he's in touch.
I don't care about that, though.
I know you don't care about that, but you're invested. It affects you and your family. So,
well, you want to talk about something that really affects me?
What?
Something that's really serious and local?
Uh-oh.
A local bank this week has made a massive overhaul. I'm not going to say who, but you all know who it is.
We do.
Oh, yeah. They made a massive overhaul.
Don't have my finger on the pulse here.
They revamped everything. And when I say everything, I'm talking about mobile banking, online banking, in-person banking, teller banking, CDs, savings accounts, safety deposit boxes. Their entire system of how they do things has changed.
Local?
Yes.
Okay.
And now they sent out new debit cards to every one of their account holders. Here's your new debit card. Your old one will not work come September 22nd.
Okay.
But you can't activate this one until September 22nd. Okay. So September 22nd, I did just what I was being good like you wanted. And I just did it. I activated my new one, and it's working.
Okay.
Okay? That's not my problem.
What's the problem?
My problem is I tried to add it to my Apple Wallet so that I can use my phone and tap.
To pay, tap.
Yes. Yeah.
Apple Pay.
So, but I've added it to it, but now it has to be confirmed, baptized, christened, convicted, whatever, verified, whatever it is that they need to do to it to make sure that it's for real before Apple will add it to my wallet. Mm-hmm. And so every time I open my phone, I have a message saying your card still needs to be christened or baptized or saved or whatever it is. And so I hit that button. Well, it immediately takes me and it calls said local bank.
Okay.
I called local bank Monday, the 22nd. After like 45 minutes on hold, I was like, screw this.
I am not.
I got plenty more I need to be doing. So I hung up. Tuesday, I get on. I'm on hold forever. Finally get to talk to someone. Sounded like they were right here in El Dorado. Didn't sound like I was like, take your butter, but for my name is Steve. Money. So I get on the phone with them. And they said, yes, absolutely. We're going to verify it. However, to verify your card, we have to call you with the number that's on file.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's fine. I understand that. I understand.
I get it.
Yeah. So call me back. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Should be any minute. It's been 3 days.
And that was Tuesday.
It's been 3 days, and I haven't gotten a call back. And here's the problem, Boomer. I'm out here having to physically use my card. I'm having to take my wallet out, remove the card from my wallet, and then manually use it in a machine. What is this, 1954? Can we please get my card added to my freaking Apple Wallet?
That was a long setup, but that's real life. I mean,
can we get it? I mean, can we at least move into a time where TVs were in color?
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh. What the hell? I mean, just all I want to do is take my phone and tap
it and
pay.
Yeah,
But
go.
But I can't.
Can I give you a kind of a correlated story, maybe?
Sure.
So, through her business, Martha's on the Square. She does all her purchasing.
We'll send you a bill for that,
Yeah,
Martha.
thank you, Martha. Well, I mean, you're welcome. She does all her purchasing for the store through American Express. So, over the years, I would say at least probably 24 times her card has been hacked.
Ooh.
Now, the first one.
Now, of course, she's buying stuff in China.
Well, I know, and here's what she did. The way she found out who it was. They okay, we'll fix it. We'll send you a new card. Send them a new card. So this time, I said, Martha, just whoever you suspect, or maybe just pick one and only order from that one for this billing cycle. Sure enough, she says, called them up, said, well, it got hacked. I know who it is. She said, oh, well, we can't, Miss Barrios, we can't divulge that to us. She says, you don't have to divulge it to me.
I can tell you.
I'm telling you who it is.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story long, it got hacked again just recently. We're going to overnight your new cards because she had something that was pending that had to be paid. We don't have the cash. She does it, and then she gives it on a 30-day cycle, and she can make enough cash to pay, what's going on. Didn't come overnight. It didn't come Friday night. That was on a Wednesday. Didn't come Saturday. It was the following Tuesday before she got
Lord Jesus.
Before she got the card in, got them activated, and then I went to pay for a purchase of a good amount, and I'm sorry, sir, it won't take that. I said, yeah. I said, we just got them activated. No, sir, I've tried it 3 times. The bill was a couple $1,000 for, it was $1,000 for my truck. I had new struts and new, all this new tire, not new tires, but all this new stuff I got put on there. Won't take it. So we put it on another card, and I said, well, we can just get that at American Express and get them to flop back over or whatever. So she had the one that got hacked. She had unlimited purchases on that one, and it got hacked. Mm-hmm. So when she got the new one, they said, well, you got to start over.
Start over from where?
Yeah. Not
from being a customer for 30 years?
Start over with the low limits. Martha says, I can't take low limits. She says, I order this much a month every month. She says, I'm ordering clothes.
Y'all got me mixed up.
Oh, you don't want to, Fru's a real easygoing person.
She is easygoing.
But here's what happens. And it's a self-preservation thing. If you do this too many times to you, I've just seen that look on her face. Okay, she draws an X on you. I've seen it happen, and then we not associates no more.
We're not friends anymore. I'm sorry.
But I mean, she can't do without American Express. I guess she could go to some other company or whatever. But that she's had high limits for a long time, and heck, she spent so much that she would get a couple of times a year. She'd get a $500 Visa card that they send to her. She says, and then she just puts that back in the business again. So anyway, that was our credit card story. She is not happy, and I can understand your unhappiness.
Yeah. I'm just, look.
So if the phone rings right now, go ahead and answer.
Yeah, I'm going to answer it. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll be like, everybody hold on a second.
We got to pause the podcast.
My gosh, man. Mm-hmm. And I was actually in the bank yesterday. Mm-hmm. I was in there. I was putting some stuff in my safety deposit box. And I said to the young lady who was helping me, I said, hey, by the way, can we just do, she's like, yeah, we can do that right here, right now. I was like, fantastic. Well, again, it's a whole new system. And I don't think everyone understands. They didn't just change a little bit of this or a little bit of that. I'm talking about it is a whole new.
They started over.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything in their entire banking operation has changed. And so she has a list of people this long that she can call to help her do what I need done to verify my. She called every one of them. I'm sitting there while she does it. Every one of them went to voicemail.
No,
every one.
Well, they don't have enough people on that list.
Obviously not.
Like calling the IRS, man.
And so, I mean, look, it's my bank. I'm not changing
going anywhere.
banks. I'm
No,
not
I don't-
going anywhere.
yeah.
I love them, and they have always been a good bank to me.
Yeah,
And
as well as ours. Yeah.
you know, and so I love my bank, but Lord Jesus, could we
Yeah.
have phased this in a little bit?
Yeah,
Could
like
we
in
have
sections?
Yeah, I mean, could we not have just had a little something change here, and then maybe,
Oh, man.
I had already gotten used to not being able to check my online balance at such and such time between such and such time because it was still 1993 in our banking system software, and they had to shut it all down to be able to do the adding and subtracting of what's in your account. I'd already gotten used to that.
Yeah, they had to do an overnight check, balances. Hey, I got a call. I'm sitting in, about 1990 something. I'm sitting at home on Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon watching football. And the phone rings. This is where we still had landlines. Mr. Barrios? Yes. This is so-and-so at something mall, Pecanland Mall. Yes. We have a lady in here that is making a purchase, and we see on your card, it was Visa calling for that person. This person has made several purchases within a 4-hour period, and we wanted to check to see, if that's what you want going on. I said, oh, no. I said, that's my wife. I said, she's over there Christmas shopping. I said, can you stop her? Stop her.
Make that in. Look, thief.
It was, and he laughed. I said, no, man, it's my wife. I said, but we had a good laugh for a minute. And they used to, and I think they still will.
Yeah.
If they think suspect fraud, they will give you a call or text you or email you or something.
But, my lovely wife was going on a girls. Every year, she and her little girlfriends, they all go on a beach trip together. I don't even want to know what kind of debauchery happens at this thing. Because, listen, we've been on guys' golf trips, and it's tame compared to what these women do.
Yeah, because they don't feel like, we can do what we want. We're women.
We're women. We can do what we want. We don't have to explain it to anybody.
Yeah.
We don't have to say, what was I thinking? I know what I was thinking.
And this is what they'll do if you say something.
Yeah. You're just being insecure.
Oh, man, yeah.
You had a male stripper. There's a picture of you sucking Jello shots off his bare chest.
Okay, yeah, what? So what?
And
And
I came home to you, didn't I?
yeah. I didn't do anything with him.
So I don't even want to know what goes on in these girls' trips.
So anyway,
But my lovely wife called me and she said, hey, can you call the bank and let them know I'm out of town? Because every other year she forgets to do that. And every other year her card gets cut off. And invariably it'll be Friday night at 11 o'clock at night.
Sure.
And, you can't reach anyone at the bank.
Yeah.
And so, so I was like, yeah, I'll call them.
put a $500 limit on
I called.
that
I
thing.
said, "What's that daily limit on that car? Can you bring that down just a little bit? Can you just like 2 notches? What is 2 notches take it down to? Oh, she's already passed that for today. That didn't surprise me at all.
My bank in I'm throwing it back now. My bank in 1984
Was charging you 23% interest.
Yeah. Hey, I was paying 21 3/4 on my home my home loan. Anyway, you'd have a set limit that you could take out at any one time, and I was blowing and going back then. So I said, you know what, I'm going to save myself and make a decision now, so I won't make a bad decision at 11:30 at night.
Yes.
So I said, $50. That's all I can take out with my card. $50. So I figured out that if somebody goes in behind you and does a transaction, you can get you another $50. So, if you're wanting to party late at night,
yeah.
listen, I've asked the Lord for forgiveness, and He has. But, I was doing a lot of partying back in the 80s. And,
Which is code for crank, by the way. I mean, I'm not putting his business out there. I'm just helping y'all decode this at home. So,
ancillary story. So when we moved here in 1989, I had cleaned up. I'd gone back to church. I'd asked the Lord for forgiveness. I'd asked all those that I'd harmed. I went 12-step program. I went to rehab and did all that stuff. And so when I came to Arkansas, my mother, my father had passed away, and all my siblings had moved from Oklahoma. And I said, Mama, I'm moving to Arkansas to be with my kids. You want to come? Sure. So we get here, and she's lamenting and talking about this and the time in the future and all this. I said, "Now look, Mom," I said, "I have not done anything for years," and I said that getting sober testimony isn't necessary here because nobody knows my past.
That's right.
And I said, "I'm not planning on sleeping with anybody's daughter here or doing any
or their wife or
anything. So let's not bring that testimony up anymore." So, okay, Troy, but I'm just so proud that you got cleaned up. But when are bad things going to quit happening to you? I said, "Hey, Mom, you
plant corn, you're not going to get potatoes." I'm just telling you.
Failure. Anyway, so now everybody that watches this, thank you, Sandy. They all know that I was a dopehead at one time.
Look, I mean, would it make you feel better if I went down my list?
No,
okay.
No, we'll leave it alone because it's only a 3-hour tour. Yeah, and I did the highlights, way highlights.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about the time I got 3 tickets in one day?
It seems like you did tell me that, but I don't remember.
I ain't gonna tell you again. Oh, but it was a lot. It had a lot to do with that.
Yeah,
being in a hurry.
Sure, of course. You're in a rush.
Yeah, that's why they call it speed.
Exactly right. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
Serving South Arkansas for 25 years, and all the while expanding and growing throughout the state, ProMed Ambulance is proving their motto of world-class care and hometown values. For example, their new mobile integrated healthcare communication center. This state-of-the-art facility allows communication specialists to work directly with local 911 call centers to ensure the closest medical team is always dispatched to any emergency. World-class care and hometown values. For more information and career opportunities, go to ProMedAmbulance.com.
Hell, there's hell everywhere I go. I'm just sticking with the devil I know. Mama says get my ass to church. Daddy says get my ass to work. Doctor says I gotta give up on these smokes.
Hey, and welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer. And Boomer, we have to be on our best behavior.
Yeah, because
this is the man. This is our friend, Donnie Clayton. And Donnie, we tell everyone every week, said, here we are at our favorite place, and we're not making that up.
No.
This is one of our favorite places to be, and that is here at Main Street Pizza. And now, how long have you had, gosh, it seems like it's been 20 years.
21 years.
Has it? I was just guessing.
We're in our 22nd year. February was 21 for us. So
wow.
Coming on down the road.
Now, when I moved here, you had T-Rex.
I did.
And at that time, you just had the one out on Junction City Highway.
Correct.
And then you built the other one.
Yes.
And so we used to come and do live Friday mornings. We would do it live.
I forgot about that. I hadn't thought of that in a long time.
Yeah. And Donnie decided he's going to give free gas or something at one time.
Oh, gosh.
It was like, it was a low cost gas.
And then we did,
and I had to quit doing the show and start directing traffic.
Yeah.
Say, well, that got him in.
No, yes.
Yeah. Now, there's laws about that, though. You got to be real careful on that, don't you?
Yeah, I probably messed up that day.
No, we did everything legal.
Oh, okay. We that makes me think about it. You talked about the store on Junction City Highway. I was new in business in 2001 when 9/11 hit.
Yeah.
And, the morning hours were quiet as everybody absorbed all the news and everything. And about 2 o'clock, the panic hit. And I saw as much meanness, evil in people that day trying to get gas. I was never so thankful. We had gotten in an additional tanker during the day.
Yeah.
And about 7 or 8 o'clock that night, we were out, and there wasn't anything we could do about it.
Yeah.
It was like, thank you, Lord. Lock the doors. It was,
panic buying.
Fear created that panic, and then, it was,
wow.
I don't know why I went back to that, but it put an impression on me.
I don't guess I realized that happened on 9/11. Of course, so much happened that day, but now, at that time, I was also living in Texas, and we were on the escape path from Galveston. So if there was a hurricane coming in, every gas station from about Lufkin north to Shreveport would just be overrun with people filling up
again.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I had a conversation just a couple of weeks ago about a family that's settled here in South Arkansas, and it came from some of the panic and, the
hurricane.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, I've met several people who moved here after Katrina.
Yep.
They lost everything.
Sure.
And they were here for whatever reason. And then a couple of them, and it's not my story to tell, but for one, there was one family that they were brand new down to that part of South Louisiana. And because the dad, actually, they lived in Pass Christian, Mississippi. And the dad had been transferred there. And he did something with one of the casinos there on the coast. And, of course, they'd only been there for a short amount of time. And they just up and left and just started driving north. And they recognized a couple of cars in front of them. So they just kept following them.
Didn't know where they were
going. And they ended up in El Dorado, Arkansas.
From Pass Christian.
From Pass Christian. Now, we hosted over on the when we were at the radio station, we hosted on the parking lot to feed anyone who was escaping the storm. And I remember John Dews and the whole crew from Simmons came out, and we cooked burgers. I mean, from daylight to dark. And if people were coming up, we were feeding them.
Yeah.
And we weren't asking for addresses or any of that. We didn't. If you walked up and said you were here because of Katrina, we fed you. I don't remember how many thousands of people we fed that day.
It was a lot.
I do remember John, and I want to say you. I want to say John called you and said, "Do you have some hamburger patties?" Because we were out. And John started calling people all over town, getting hamburger patties delivered to us so we could keep cooking them. Anyway, this family is there, and it's just a dad and a wife, a dad and a mom, and a little girl. And the little girl's just like catatonic nearly. And I'm like, is she okay? Is there something her best friend. She's only had her for a couple of weeks, but they've just bonded. And they live just like a few doors over from us. And we didn't see them leave. And
she's worried about that.
She's worried. Anyways, I'm standing there talking to them, and this little girl lets out an Apache scream. I mean, like something has stung her or bit her. And I look at her, and she's looking across the parking lot, and there's her little friend.
Oh, no.
They had no idea
Showed up at the same
that
place.
the two of them would be in El Dorado,
In
Arkansas.
El Dorado, Arkansas. Wow.
Yeah.
What a story.
That was, I mean, there were times that day, and I remember Steve Harrell and I both walking past each other, wiping our own eyes, you know. And there, of course, anytime you're doing something like that where you're raising funds or feeding or raising supplies, there's going to be people who come through and they're going to be demanding and they're going to be, you know.
we had some of those.
We did. We had some people. I'll never forget, there was one lady who walked up. We filled 3 18-wheelers. Now, for those of you who don't know, we had, at our radio station at that time, we had 3 18-wheelers on the parking lot, and we filled them stem to stern. I mean, everything. Food, clothes, mattresses,
water.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I think one of them was just water.
Yeah.
And it took us about a week to fill them up. So tell me why we drove those things down to South Louisiana and thought we would empty them in a couple of hours.
Yeah, we had to
Because
look
it didn't work that way.
It did, and we finally went down to Plaquemine Parish. And,
Yeah, we took them to Plaquemine.
Got some people that knew where things needed. And
We took them to Plaquemine and the city of Plaquemine. And we go down there and but anyway, when we were loading these vehicles, these 18-wheelers up, this woman comes up and says, well, I'm from New Orleans, so what do I get?
She wanted to start shopping.
And we're like, well, it doesn't work that way, you know. And she kind of started acting a fool.
Yeah, she did.
There was this,
and I could tell she was from New Orleans, by the way.
yes, yeah, she wasn't tricking us. She was definitely from New Orleans. Well, there was this older black guy, this older black gentleman who was there, and he walked over and he said, excuse me, sir. And he just said to her, what's your name? I don't have to tell you, blankety, blankety, blank, blank, blank. He said, He said, well, my name is, and he said it. And she was like, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said, now here's what we're not going to do. These people up here doing something nice for us. They're feeding us, giving us water. They raising money and funds and stuff to take back to our people who couldn't make it out. We're not going to come up here and act a fool. Do you understand me? Yes, sir.
She knew who he was?
Yes, she did. And there were
Did you know who he was?
I didn't at that point, but there were a couple police officers from New Orleans who were here as well, you know. And I asked one of them.
Me.
I said, and he said, Yeah, he's the Lord of the Seventh Ward.
He was the kingpin.
They said he got more money out there than First National Bank. He owns everything. Okay, down in the Seventh Ward. He said, "You talk about a guy who probably lost his shirt. Him.
Okay.
But that guy, his family owned a chicken restaurant down in the Seventh Ward, Ninth Ward, whatever.
Ninth Ward.
They owned a chicken restaurant. I don't know, probably 2009, 2010. We're watching the Food Network or whatever channel it is, and they were going back and talking about the revitalized New Orleans. Well, there's that guy and his family's chicken restaurant.
I'll be.
Been 100+ years. His great grandmama's grandmama or somebody started cooking
family.
chicken.
Yeah,
and they were cooking that chicken, and you could tell people were coming in paying respect.
Oh, good.
They were, when they walked in, there was, you didn't hear anybody being loud. You didn't hear anybody. Everybody came in. They, yes sir, no sir. you know. So yeah, there was some validity to that. But yeah, we got down there to Plackham, and the first thing that happened, we left here. We got to Bernice and got pulled over, and we explained to the very kind officer that we're taking all this stuff down to New Orleans, the New Orleans area, and he was like, "Carry on,
let them go."
And but we get down there, and they had just gotten power back. Now they've been without power for like 2 weeks. They had just gotten power back that day, and one of our 18-wheelers clipped a power line.
Oh no, I remember that. Oh heavens!
And took them down. And then we have these 3 18-wheelers, and we're like, who's going to unload all this stuff? I mean,
and hadn't like Clean Harbors or something? Who donated the vehicles?
I know a couple of them came from South Ark's big rig class, where they teach you to be a truck driver.
Yeah.
But anyway, we get down there, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, what
we hadn't thought this through.
They may not want all this.
And Terry Canterbury and I had ridden down there together, and he was a reserve deputy at the time, so we took a sheriff's car, and he's in uniform.
Yeah.
And we go down there.
So you got free access to wherever you want to go.
Yeah, so I'm like, T, we hadn't thought this through. We're going to leave and go home. I don't know what they're going to do. And so the mayor of the town, I believe, was a gentleman by the name of Tony Galata. And Tony Galata's brother happened to be the sheriff of the parish.
So you don't
Imagine
know.
that.
You don't know.
No, I do know. That's the whole thing. Their state representative was a young lady by the name of Karen St. Germain. And anyways, they all huddled up there and waved me over and said, "Now, here we going to do. We're going to call over there to jail. Tell them to send us all the nonviolent convicts over here.
We're going to unload this."
And man, next thing you know, here come these white buses pulling up. And I'm telling you, people I was like, Lord Jesus, this won't take. And literally, like 4 hours later, they were empty.
Right. Yeah.
And we filled up a gymnasium.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
it was a lot of
filled
stuff.
up a gymnasium. And then the sheriff, he was like, "Now, y'all come with me and let me take you out to dinner." And they took us to this little hole-in-the-wall place with some of the best food you've ever had in your life.
In Plaquemine.
In Plaquemine.
Yeah. Well, that's that whole parish down there is, they do things like they want to.
Oh, yeah. There's no question about that. Yeah.
And the Galatas are
Yes.
If
you don't know,
they're famous for, they run that part of the world.
Yes. So, incidentally, I talked to a friend of mine that I haven't talked to in a long time. As a matter of fact, I think the last time I talked to him, you and I took him to lunch, Guido Melancon. And he and I talked the other day, and I think he's going to try to maybe Zoom guest with us one day.
He's a kingmaker.
Well, he was.
I mean, he's older now. But
Yeah.
Anyway.
But
Now, what's a kingmaker?
If you want to be the head of the sheriff's department in that part of the world, you go to him, and he would not rig. Well, the bad word. He would help you with your campaign.
Oh, okay.
yeah. Vote early, vote often. So, they say is Louisiana sold their voting machines to Mexico, and Edwin Edwards has been elected president of Mexico 3 times.
Right.
Well, it was either Edwin Edwards or
David Duke.
David Duke.
That's not a hard choice. I'm just saying.
That's what devil you want to live with.
Forgot about that.
Of course, old Edwin Edwards. He would say, Well, hell, if they giving money out, why ain't we getting ours?
Yeah, that's- yeah.
That was
He was from Crowley.
he from Crowley. That's right. And
So you was right in the middle of all this, Donnie. Right when it started, all this was going on.
Yeah.
He had the coldest beer in town. Hey.
you know, we had a guest here with us a few weeks ago, and he stopped Donnie, and he was like, "Man, I just got to tell you, if nothing else, I love your ice."
Yeah.
And Donnie, that can't be the most efficient ice. I mean, you got to have a lot of meltage. in that.
It's not the most efficient, and it's kind of an expensive machine. Ironically, it broke down over the weekend. So Bud from Glen Mechanical, which is the Hoshizaki expert, come out Monday and got us back in business. So, but now on the other hand, you can if you're broke down, and you can kind of buy about 2 days. But about that third day, the riot is about to start. People are not going to tolerate
want that
you not
cube
having
ice.
that
That's
ice.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah,
an
they
important
don't-
part of what we do.
They don't want that big hard ice like you have at McDonald's.
No,
Yeah, they
not
want-
at all. Not at all. And the understanding is pretty short. Let's get this thing fixed and get back to my ice.
Well, that's like when you had the T-Rex. You had that soft
Yes.
ice, and
Yep.
and I have to tell you, there were times I would drive past 2 or 3 stores to come to T-Rex because you had that ice, and I'm spoiled like that.
Well, you know, and still to this day, I go south to Junction every day, and that T-Rex, those girls in there don't know my name, but they know who I am because I come in there so much. But still a good store to be at, even though
good.
you hadn't
Good.
had it in a while.
Yep. Good deal.
So, now Donnie, we're talking about all kinds of things, and Donnie's an expert in a lot of things.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I disagree, but one of the things that you and I love talking about, and that's baseball.
Oh, sure.
And now, of course, for those of you who don't know, his son won the very last state championship that El Dorado won in baseball in 2012,
That's correct.
and pitched them to a state championship. And you know, of course, his son is one of those guys that just makes me mad too. He's tall and good looking,
good hair,
lots of hair, good teeth, good
Yeah.
attitude.
Yeah.
And then there's me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got all the want to in the world, but
Yeah.
it doesn't overcome talent
doesn't
and
parlay.
physical ability. You know? So, but let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked somebody else. Did the SEC make a mistake with the baseball schedule with Arkansas this year?
You know, it's I
Cake-
wouldn't call it a
cakewalk?
mistake, but it's
It's certainly not
Right.
not murderer's row like it has been.
Right.
You
Yep.
know, I can remember years when you had to play A&M and Tennessee and LSU and Florida.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Vanderbilt.
maybe we finally fussed enough that we got it back, you know, because the schedule and has been very aggressive in
It has been.
baseball, and then of course football we've been on
Good
murder's
Lord.
row for a long time. So maybe it finally swung our way for 1 year. and
For once,
this might
yeah.
be the magic to get us
Well,
over the hump.
Get Van Horn.
There is a conspiracy theory out there that the other coaches in the league went to the SEC and said, "Look, we can't recruit against Dave Van Horn. DVH is we can't do it. He's not going to retire until he gets a natty." So let's don't let it,
let's make this happen and get on.
let's
to it.
don't let him limp into Hoover anymore. Okay, let's have him fully charged and ready to play. Get him out of Hoover and into a super regional and then to Omaha, and let's get him a natty and let's all throw him a big going away party.
And no 2-out pop-ups.
And oh my gosh,
I'm sorry.
Come
I
on, Troy.
I brought it up.
that's
That hurts,
You
man.
know, I still-
That's still, you know, and I have nothing vested or invested with that team, but that still hurts me. Even just the
I
think-
still wake up in the middle of the night and like, catch it, call it.
Well, I was actually there for that.
Oh,
and,
no.
You were in
I'm
Omaha for that?
I was in Omaha, and I'm talking about 15 rows away from me.
Oh, man.
And it was one of those things that even before, you know, when you're there live, you get to see so much more than you do
Yeah.
when you're watching on TV. And you can see all three are moving, and they're not with enough confidence. And it starts you know, you see it unraveling.
It's about to happen.
And then everybody had their phone out. And I'm almost like, don't jinx. You know, to me, the phones were jinxing the thing. And then the ball hits the ground, and the air was gone.
Came out of the
You
hole.
knew we weren't. We only needed another out.
Yeah.
We had 9 more innings the next
that's
day.
what I was gonna say.
And,
So
but
Arkansas-
you knew at that point it was done.
Arkansas was up 1-0. They needed one out. If they catch that ball, that's 2-0. That's serious.
That's it.
They're national champs. That ball hits the ground, and I'm like you. There was nothing in me the next day that said Arkansas is going to come and pull this out.
I mean, you even knew 30 seconds after it happened. You're like,
That was
our window right there, and it didn't happen.
Well,
can you imagine how that replays? Some people have the ability to put things behind them. A lot of sports people do.
Not me.
A lot of athletes do. But I know Van Horn maybe has the ability to do that. But that's got to haunt.
Carson Shaddy right now today.
Yeah.
If you threw him a little shallow pop up right now, he
would
probably
run.
breaks out in a sweat.
Yeah.
He's actually I've seen him talk about it a couple of times, and he's got so much confidence that he kind of just put it away and went on.
It's baseball.
He gets asked about. Matter of fact, Clint Sterner over the Tennessee drop fumble in '98. He made it part of his speech here about 6 months ago, and how he could look back on that and walk. He walked away, not walked away from it, but hey, I was doing the very best I could, and I truly, as a fan, believe he was.
Yes.
I mean, his determination is what created the fumble. He wasn't going to let it. He was going to make the first down under his watch, and that didn't happen. But it seems like those guys, if they play it, I guess maybe if they play at those levels with that much confidence, they can walk away from it.
Well, I have a friend who's a sports psychologist, and I asked her one day, I said, how do you get a guy? And I remember asking her about Carson Shaddy. Not that she treated him, but I said, how do you take a guy like Carson Shaddy, who had a natty that close? And there's 3 of them, but it drops between them. How do you take that guy and bring him back from that? And she said, one of the first things I do when I find out I've got a kicker, for example, coming.
Yeah.
And this kicker missed the game-winning field goal or whatever. She said, I go back and watch that entire game. And she said, I mark down every fumble. I mark down every interception.
All the chances they had.
I mark down every missed blocking assignment. And she said, by the time I'm done, I have 3 pages full of things that went wrong in that game. So why are we bringing it down to this one thing? And she said, that's the part that I have to get to them and explain to them, hey, if, because you're saying if I had just hit that. Well, let's talk about the ifs. And, it makes sense to me. It's like they were talking about,
Yeah, I'd be there if I say, yeah, but what everybody saw is when I missed the kick.
Well, and everybody's like, oh, Arkansas is going to get murdered by Notre Dame. And they might. I don't know. I'm not. All I'm telling you is Arkansas has played 2 awesomely good teams. And other than shooting themselves in the foot, won those games. Now, the Memphis game is a little different to me because you had a bigger lead that you lost because
18, whatever it was.
Because your defense is riding around in green barrels being picked up on Thursdays. I mean, but other than that, I mean, they played 2 very good teams. Don't sleep on Memphis, by the way.
Yeah,
right.
They very well maybe end up in the college football playoffs. Okay, so let's don't. So I'm not. I'm not doom and gloom as in, well, Arkansas is going to go 2-8. I don't see that.
Yeah.
But a friend of mine, Mike Poore, he told me, he said, man, he said, the curse is real, Sandy. The curse is real. and I laughed at him.
He's a big Arkansas fan.
This was last Thursday or Friday he was telling me this. I laughed at him. And Saturday, I texted him. I said, you know what? I apologize. You're right. The curse is real. It is absolutely 100% real.
I've got a brother-in-law who lives over in East Texas, super big fan, graduated from Fayetteville, and he's been saying this for about 3 or 4 years. He's got the saying that we have that innate ability to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And, that Saturday was just another version of that. Oh, man.
I got a son-in-law that's like that with LSU. There you go. We've lost the game. Of course, now they're playing pretty good this year, but it ain't right.
For right now.
But, the ability to forget those things and put it behind you, like we said, is what kind of separates the top athletes from those that have the ability but just can't parlay that into. Y'all know that I do dogs, and I do dog competitions, and like this past weekend, I had 6 of them. Well, 3 of them did good, and 3 of them did real, real poor. And my mentor said, when you get through with that one dog that just did poor, and you're mad at that dog, you can't take that attitude with the next dog Because they deserve your best attitude because they can read your attitude. So, that's the ability to do that. It's not something that's in me. I've had to really work on that. And so, those guys do too. And that's what makes top athletes.
And that's going to be that you're talking about Notre Dame. That's going to be the key to Notre Dame. Does the team flush it?
Yeah.
And of course, there's plenty of noise going. And
Sure.
Is Sam going to be back and all this other stuff? But can they,
Put that behind
today,
'em.
tomorrow, can they close all that off and say us versus the world and 11 o'clock? Strap it on and go win the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the question.
And they're beatable. Notre Dame's beatable.
For sure.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Definitely. It's like any team that I like. What I don't care for is the fan base. I'm an Astros fan, been an Astros fan my entire life. My dad worked for the Astros. I have 2 tattoos on my body. One of them is an Astros star. I mean, I'm an Astros fan. I was an Astros fan in those years where they were losing 100 games, okay? So I get it. But the fan base is what just drives me crazy.
Which one?
Any of them.
Oh, okay. I thought you was being in a particular team.
But with Arkansas this week, and what kills me are the ones who like, well, I know someone who they know, and they live next door to Chuck Barrett.
Oh, yeah.
And Chuck told them himself that Houston Nutt's coming back going to coach his team. And I was like, good God, I hope not.
Having some Murgatroyd, no.
I hope not.
No.
Look, it's an NIL world. I'm not sure anyone knows how to navigate it yet.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, well, look at Texas Tech. That's right. Look at Texas Tech. Let's wait and see at the end of the season what that looks like.
Right.
Because I'm not convinced yet.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, if I've got $42.5 million payroll for them kids on the field, I better have a natty. Or at least I better be playing on that last Monday night in January, whenever it is. That I'm just telling you, that's when it should.
Well,
time will tell.
And with that money coming from, in large part, from 1 or 2 sources, they don't get that title, or they don't be there that Monday night. That money could go away real fast too.
Exactly right.
It's,
and incidentally, if you're coaching a team that has the highest payroll in all of college athletics, and you don't win the natty, you don't get to ask for anything next year.
Right.
You don't get new shoulder pads.
Right.
You don't get new decals on the helmets. Matter of fact, we think about putting you back in them 1977 Texas Tech Red Raiders. Them. Yeah. They have a picture of Bobby Knight on the side of the helmet.
I had a customer at lunch earlier today. We were talking about the NIL situation, and for me, it is. I'm a lifelong Razorback, lifelong Dallas Cowboy, and free agency changed my cowboydom, for lack of a better word. My Sundays used to be completely consumed with it. I still watch. I still kind of keep up. I know what's going on, but it has changed my emotional attachment. And I have dangerously feel slip in my Razorback emotions. That this is not the same emotional attachment in 1998 when we're at 8-0 about to beat Tennessee. And obviously it's easier to be a big fan when we're winning big.
Winning covers a multitude of sin. Sure.
But when you get into so many of the they're not part of the team. It's where did the money come? How much money can I get? And I'm headed to the NFL, and that's that's part of the game. But man, be part of this team. Be present where you are today.
Because you probably could, and I could at one time. I could look at a picture of the Dallas Cowboys and tell you everybody's name.
Absolutely,
everyone on the roster.
Yep.
Team picture. But you don't know who's playing each week now.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
And I kind of disassociated when they traded Michael Parsons. I said, why would you do that? But anyway, they didn't ask.
Well, because
Jerry didn't call me and
because
ask
he
me
told Jerry to kiss him.
where the sun don't shine. Well,
Makes it pretty easy.
that makes it easy, but still.
Like the time that guy come and put his feet up on my desk and told me I was going to give him a raise or he was going to walk. And I said, man, I accept you 2 weeks. We'll see you later. Wish you the best.
Okay.
Put his feet on my desk.
I remember.
You were there. I know. That's just one of those, like, I don't care what you came in here and asked for. The fact you just felt comfortable and put your feet on my desk.
We're having a little sales conversation in Sandy's office close to that time. And this guy walks by that's, he's not a salesman. He's on the radio side.
Yeah.
And so Sandy goes, hey, come here. He said, look, don't be wearing those flip-flops.
Flip-flops, yeah.
To work. We need, dress appropriately for work. He goes, you see, that's where you're wrong. He said, these are not flip-flops. These are sandals. Tell him what you said.
I said, that shows what you know about this pen. I said, with this pen, I sign your check. Don't wear them damn flip-flops in here tomorrow. So you know what he wore to work the next day? Motorcycle boots. Up to his knees.
Oh, so you see where he didn't last long.
No, I can see that.
That was pretty much the end for him.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even remember that kid's name.
I
That's
don't
the bad
remember his
part.
name
but
either.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So we talked about that. Now, are you still doing any of that dead week coaching and baseball and all that?
I'm not. I kind of got not loose from it, but as I got a little older and the coaches changed along, I'm not. But I am certainly follow Wildcat baseball and hope for their success. And then now with with Cannon, I'm talking about little brother here. With Cannon at the Stars, so we've got two great programs to follow.
Yeah. I can't wait till we can get Cannon on the show. I mean, it's what he has accomplished, and not what he's accomplished as in he's built it and there it is.
Yeah.
He has to do it every year.
Every year.
He has to start from the ground and build it back up.
'Cause if they're
every
good,
single
they're
year.
gone.
They're gone. Well, even if they're not,
They're gone. Yeah.
they're gone.
Just
I mean,
2 year-
you got a 2-year deal, and I am so optimistic about that program and just what all he's going to be able to provide and do with it. And
I when it first started and they was building support for it, can you sponsor this? Can you support that? And not just baseball. I include the basketball program and everything. Anything. And in my mind, I kind of like, well, that at least gives some young men and young ladies something to do. It'll be tough to be competitive and.
Here we go.
And here we are. We are super competitive in baseball. Basketball went to the Final 8 or something, or 12 or whatever here 2 years ago. I mean, it's been man, that they have took off running.
Yeah.
and and we had the two basketball coaches in here with us one day, and I really liked when I talked to them. I said, "How do you go out and recruit somebody and say, hey, I want you to become a part of Arkansas you've never heard of?" And they're like, we don't. Both of them were kind of like, we don't really talk about that. We talk to mom and daddy and say, hey, you want little Billy there to know how to wash his own clothes? We're going to teach him.
Right.
You want him to know how to balance a checkbook? We're going to teach him that. Want him to know how to change a flat? We're going to teach him how to be a man. And that seems to be the selling criteria for a lot of parents. They're like, because I mean, let's just be honest here for a second. If
17 or 18-year-old kid.
If your hope for college is relying on a quote-unquote junior college, you're not going to go play in the pros unless something just really weird happens.
Unless you develop.
Now you show up, you graduate high school, you're 6'2", and you show up here and you're 6'8". Things change, but these parents are looking at him and saying, okay, he may have been the best little player on his AAU team. He may have been the best little player in his high school. But so was everyone else you're playing with.
Yeah.
They were all the best players. I had a conversation with a coach one time, baseball coach. I remember telling you about this. And he had this philosophy of hitting the top half of the baseball. And I was like, Coach, I got to ask you. And he said, well, a well-hit ground ball, he said, 3 things have to happen for you to get out. He said, they have to field it cleanly, they have to make a good throw, and the first baseman has to make a catch. I said, Coach, you realize you've got 9 shortstops on the field, right? And he's like, there's only 1 shortstop. And I was like, 9 out there on the field. I said, every one of them has played shortstop at one point. I said, with the exception of that one, I said, he played for me. He never played shortstop. Every one of them played shortstop. They can all field a ball. They can all make a good throw. They can all catch the ball. I said, I'm afraid you're putting C-League rules into high school baseball.
Good point.
And, I never want to be that guy who poisons the water. Okay. I would never talk to my kid about their coach. I just kept my mouth shut. But when your kid comes to you and says, hey, I don't understand, then you're like, okay, listen. But so mom and dad are sitting there and they're hearing, my kid's not going to play with the pros. He's not going to go to a D1 college because we have a D2 junior college here recruiting him. So let's get the most we can get out of this.
Sure.
And that's going to be, let's get him at least the first half of his education, teach him how to wash and fold his own clothes, make sure he has clean drawers, teach him how to cook a couple meals on his own. And as a parent, you just hope that if something happens to me, they can at least take care of themselves.
Right.
The baseball coach also says he's going to be happy when they come about with the dorms.
Oh, yeah.
Because he said he had to keep some kids before because they needed 4 in an apartment.
Right.
Yeah.
And he couldn't afford to put only 3 in there.
I asked him, I said, Cannon, are these dorms going to help you recruit? He said, no, not at all. He said, but here's what it's going to help. He said, there's been times I should have cut a kid. He said he had no business being on our team. But there's 4 of them living in that apartment over there splitting the bills evenly. And he said, if I send him home, now there's only 3 of them, and they're struggling as it is. Mm-hmm. And he said, so I leave that kid on the team even though he can't play dead in the Western. He said, so he said, I'll be able to cut some kids now.
That makes sense. It's kind of a different twist.
Well, I mean, as a coach, those are the things. And that tells you he's thinking a whole lot more about the W's and the L's.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's thinking a whole lot more than just tally marks.
Welfare of the kids.
And he's thinking about what's best for those young men. And that's honorable.
When's the new ballpark supposed to get started?
I don't know. They're moving fast on the dorm over there. Looks like.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
But I did the pre-work, I guess you could call it.
Broke up all the concrete.
Got it back to dirt, and shop gone, and all that other stuff was over there. Now it's sitting still for a minute, so I'm not sure.
I'm not either.
Boomer and I, we're ready to when they put that in, we're going to ask them to give us a couple of special seats. And my understanding is out there near the avenue is going to be center field.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
Right.
So we're going to get them to give us a couple seats way up high in center field.
Yeah.
And then in between innings, we're going to get our seats are going to swivel. And we're going to turn around, and we're going to watch that roundabout right there.
Oh, yeah.
The Rex at the
roundabout. Look like putting through a clown nose on a putt-putt course.
I have a perfect example. Just today, I was going down Mount Holly there, and all of a sudden I hear this loud crash.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, what happened? And I'll quickly show you all this picture. You just can't imagine how this guy did this. And this is perfect reason we can't have a roundabout now.
Oh, my.
He's up on the
guards at the convenience store. You got the little U thing, and somehow his truck is up on top of that, and he's not going anywhere.
What was he trying? Yeah, well, I don't guess anybody knows what he's trying to do. But yeah, for those of you out there, the convenience store and has the little round poles out there to keep you from hitting
running
stuff.
to the
so there's a guy. He's up on it sideways. Yeah.
Oh man,
Donnie, let's talk about pizza.
Okay,
how do y'all do it? How is it that every single time I eat pizza here at Main Street Pizza, it's the same? Mm-hmm. I have never been like, that's not the same as it was last time.
Consistency is the key. And we do vary slightly at times, and that's where that's when we get back to work. Let's get back to the middle of the road here.
Yeah.
A lot of people, what is the secret, and a lot of times my comment is we're doing what we did in the pizza restaurant 40 years ago, 45 years ago. The little Pizza Hut over on Hillsborough that people talk about. I don't know, Sandy, you may not. Troy, you probably remember it had the red hat on it and everything. Yeah. Back then, they did what we're doing today, which is great cheese. Make dough fresh every day. Have a 515-degree oven. We bake that pizza about 8 minutes in the pan. It goes out of the pan onto the stone. That everybody's like, oh, why are you brick oven? You just got a fake brick on the outside. No, the brick that matters is the one that the pizza sets on.
That's right.
And so that we try to get that crispy cracker crust and use the freshest ingredients. And we do try to aim for the middle of the road all the time. But, there's slight variances. Humidity will affect your dough.
Oh, of course it will. Yeah.
But we are fortunately, I got a lot of good guys back there that when it says 900 milliliters of water, it means 900 milliliters, not 850. And your buddy said, "Oh,
that'll be good."
Yeah, no, we need to stay on point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's obvious. To me, it's obvious that that's how it is because, like I said, I never, ever, ever have had a time where I'm like, well, that just wasn't as good as, or that was way better than any I've ever.
Yeah.
It's always the same. Every single time.
Let me ask you a question. I think I know the answer, but I may not remember. The Wildcat chicken sandwich.
Yep.
You invented that. Is the sauce you invented, or tell me what?
Kathy made that sauce many, many years ago. The boys were in a peach chipotle pepper. The sauce is peach chipotle pepper. They were in a peach selling, helping their buddy grandfather sell some peaches, and we had too many left over. and Kathy took a Jezebel sauce, started working on it, created her own, and we wound up with Wildcat sauce. And so we make a sandwich and a pizza with it. Some people use it for salad dressing. Some people put it on their wings.
It is a
all
great-
the above.
I like it on the. I like to actually like the Wildcat sauce on my armadillo eggs.
Yes, all the above.
To everybody in my house, they want the ranch, but I like the armadillo.
Yeah,
I like
but
it on
that sauce. I
armadillo eggs.
knew there was a story, and that's why I asked you. But that's the best chicken sandwich that I've ever had that they make right here. Yeah.
And I've had a lot of good things that Donnie has created or come up with, but none of them as good as some Mayhaw wine.
Back in the day.
Robin J. Carroll, rest in peace, and I were cooking in the Mayhaw Festival one time. Donnie come walking around, and he had this jug of orange liquid, and I thought it was Gatorade. I would have never ever partaken.
Oh, yes.
I would
Now we see.
Yea, verily.
Yeah, verily, I say into thee.
No, he come through. He said, "Hey, I got some Mayhaw wine. You want to try it?" I was like, "Yeah, can you leave it here?" He's like, "No."
Samples only. Yeah. We got to worry about the law. Yeah. Hey guys, I have a call. Can I step away 1 second?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
As the summer growing season begins to slow down, you can still find plenty of homegrown fruits and vegetables at Davis Farms Country Market. Plus, a new shipment of baked goods just hit the shelf. And if you've ever wanted to know the difference between the meat from the big chain stores and locally grown Davis Double D Farms beef, you have to check it out. You'll be amazed, and you may never buy grocery store beef again. All of this and more at Davis Farms Country Market, 4523 Junction City Highway, or call 870-639-1323.
Hitting a buck to hang on the wall rarely happens by accident. It starts with preparation, takes some skill, and often even a little luck. Country Village Sporting Goods is your headquarters for all three. Right now, check out a brand new shipment of feeders, so new that they're still pulling them out of the boxes. A huge selection of lacrosse boots and plenty of warm weather camo for that early season hunt. And of course, bow hunters can't go wrong with the sales and service at Country Village Sporting Goods, 965 Smackover Highway in El Dorado.
Everybody loves a parade, and Hilarious Pizza throws parades all week long. Bring the family in for your favorites, or explore the variety that Hilarious Pizza offers. Come join us at Hilarious Pizza for the greatest parade ever.
Okay, Groot, you can say all this Gruden stuff, but I don't see that.
I don't either.
I didn't see Cal, so I could be wrong.
Well, yeah, but here's the difference. Cal was already coaching the team. Donnie's like anything else, man. I've been a year and a couple months now since I've had to report to anybody. I've been my own boss. This is the first day I have worn pants in like 9 months. I wear shorts every day. And I only wore pants today because it was raining.
That's what me too. It's raining.
And so my fear with Gruden is, yeah, it's all good and fun when you're running around out there with the Fox News crew and they're setting up everything for you, and you fly. All you do is you fly in, get off the plane, you shoot your little spot, and you go back. You sit in the quarterback room and talk to him about this and that, and you shoot your little segment and you go on. It's a whole different deal when you fly across the country and you go sit down in a room with mama and daddy and auntie and uncle, and now you're trying to talk to them about, hey, we want little Ray to come to school here, and they're like, well, Coach so-and-so was here with $150,000. What you got?
Right.
And, it was, he was a coach and recruiter for Houston Nutt, and then he went to San Jose State. Fitz Hill.
Yep.
Fitz Hill was talking about, and I don't know if he ever said who it was. I don't think he did. But he said he went to this one house, and he said they pulled out a briefcase and sat it up on the table. And he's like, what's that? And he said they opened it up, and there was $100,000 in it. And they said, that's what Auburn brought. What did you bring? He said, I looked at him and said, the opportunity to play at one of the best programs in the country and a great education. And said the player, the kid, was into it. The mom said, the dad said, now, ain't that the school where y'all got a Confederate flag flying at the top of that thing?
Oh.
And he was like, listen, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
But Fitzhill said he went to Coach Broyles one day and said, Coach, it's really hard to get a young African American man to come here with that Confederate flag flying up there.
We had Fitz Hill at the Razorback Club one time.
We right upstairs.
Right upstairs.
They sure did. Right when they first got started. Man, I thought we were going to the top of the moon
I did
with
too,
the.
when we had
and
Fitz
then
Hill come in here.
Next thing you know,
There's 5 of us in there.
Fitz, though, man, you talk about a great guy.
he put in here. I mean, there wasn't
He
5 or
was
6 of us, and he gave us his all he had.
I'm telling you, it was very interesting.
He, you know, and he is who he is. He's very real, and he is, you know, he'll let you think that he forgot what the streets are like, but he'll show you real quick he hasn't.
Right.
And you know what he has done, just what he's done with those colleges in Little Rock that were just basically bankrupt,
Right.
and had nothing at a time when every other college in America is just their bank bags are busting open. They can't make 7 deposits a day fast enough. And then these colleges were just losing their shirt. And he went in and turned it around, got them accredited, got sports programming in, and now they got scholarships. I mean, Fitz is the real deal.
Oh yeah.
He is definitely the real deal. So I don't think we ever said it, but welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch. We're glad to have you with us here. And our special guest this week is Donnie Clayton. And Donnie, we were talking before the break and talking about just how I always say my pizza is the same every single time. And one of the things that you pointed out that I wanted to explore a little bit more, you said we use good quality cheese. We use this, you know. I'm sure that's been a struggle, especially in the last few years when inflation was really just the cost of everything was exploding. And you're sitting there looking, okay, do I bump the price of this pizza up or can I go back to a little less quality? But it sounds to me like you just chose to.
We want to stay with the quality and back to the price side of it. I've always kind of looked at, okay, our ideal customer, husband, wife, 2 children. Maybe he has a cold beer. Maybe she has 1 glass of wine. So what is the total cost of 2 medium pizzas, a cheese stick or something, and maybe a beer and a wine, you know, and that in my time I've seen that go from $40 to $50 to $60 to $70, let's say, and we want to keep that where you can do that twice a week.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to compromise the quality of the pizza, and then you don't come back anyway.
At all.
So
That's right.
You know, I hate that we do have to sometimes climb in price, but we don't want to compromise the product that we're selling for you.
Well, there's a reason I don't call Domino's.
Right.
You know, I mean, a $6 pizza. Let's think about that.
100%. And you know, I understand you're feeding 50
I get
kids.
it. I get it. Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
There's a spot for it, but if you really, and I talk all the time. I mean, yes, our pizza's good when you take it home, and it's good if you buy a par bake from us and you heat it up later and everything. But I'm telling you, when it's right, is if you sit on that other side and you're about 2 booths away from that oven, and they cut that pizza and they bring it to your table and it is steaming so bad you have to wait 2 minutes before you get to eat it.
Yeah.
That's when we hit our mark.
Yep. That's the best.
You're absolutely right. And that is when it's the best. And man,
it's the crust.
It is. That's my whole thing.
It's the crust.
It truly is. We do put a ton of effort into making sure. I mean, you asked a while ago about how long we'd been here, and I'm talking about it took us 4 to 5 months to get that, and in our beginnings, to get that
to get
right.
where you wanted it to get.
Yep, get that to what we wanted, that cracker crust. And what we talk about when we're over there cutting it on the table, that pizza is on a wooden board there, and we use a rocker knife, they call it. And when we rock that knife through there, we want that thing to go. We want that.
Crunch like a cracker.
We want that. We want it to sound like a icicle falling off the house, and that's what we're aiming for.
The other thing I was, impressed with is the cauliflower crust.
Cauliflower crust. We started researching that 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And, man, we was getting a bunch of cardboard.
Yeah.
Not anything. I mean, they bring old food reps that come by. We tried to do it in our in-house. We tried to rice one and do things and do everything. We just couldn't. It was taken away from efforts of what we needed to be doing, which was make our main line right. And then, sure enough, here come along one day, it's a Rich's product, and one of my reps came in and, man, and I'll tell you the secret to it. It's got Parmesan in it. It's not just cauliflower.
Sure.
And Parmesan's really pretty good for you. It
gonna
hits
stick.
most of the health criteria and that kind of thing. Most of the people that are aiming for that cauliflower crust, they're okay with some Parmesan, and it changed it. It's a pretty good product. Got a good little crunch to it. Got a good taste, and so yes, it is good.
Now, you can't get a deep dish here.
I don't. I've done it before for other people where I cooked someone else's deep dish. As a matter of fact, for Murphy USA, a couple of times they've ordered them from Chicago, and I'm talking about a big time load of them, and we do it for them. But that's just not who we are. We're going with that New York style cracker crust, and want to stay good of it, and good doing that, and don't want to get off. If we get over here trying to do too much of something else, we won't stay where we
I agree.
get our job done.
And of course, my favorite thing in my kids, the kids do not want a lot of sauce. They're like, so when it's pizza day for them, they know, they want Main Street because you're not overrun with sauce. It's just the right amount. And that's the part is, everyone has different tastes, right? So how do you get it to where everyone in my house likes a pizza, but yet that's what happens here every time. Every time.
Consistency is the key. Once you find something you like, regardless of where you want to Main Street or you're at Laredo or wherever you're going to, you once you find something, you want us to do that the same way every time, and that's what we aim for. You mentioned kids. It makes me think about it. In the 21 years we've been here, so we had kids that were kids. They're 5, 6, and 7. Now they're adults, and they have 5-year-olds, and so that's kind of rewarding in your heart when now you're the favorite pizza of the second generation.
That's right.
Well, it makes you feel pretty good.
There's a lot of, excuse me for interrupting, there's a lot of nostalgia here also at Main Street Pizza because you were big into duck hunting and everything that went on around that. So there's a lot of that in here. Of course, the hogs and then Coca-Cola and, all the different things that are in here. It's fun to look at. You can come in and see the kids that won the state championship this Sunday and see their picture in here. So, and, people get used to the way something, we're all creatures of habit.
Yes.
And in fact, when I come in here, by gosh, I look at that table over there and someone's sitting at it, I'm mad.
Yeah,
because I want to sit at my table. But it's a great place to come. And the floors are, you can crack peanuts and throw them on the floor.
Yep.
But they're always clean. The house is clean and the shelves are clean. And so,
The nostalgic stuff, you talk about it, about 70% of it's probably my local collection. About 30% actually came from customers.
Yeah.
And so now when I have a customer come along with something new, it's kind of, it's got to be good enough to replace something that's here. We're full. There's kind of there's a mark to hit.
I have probably of my sports collection. Now, I've got some really nice stuff. I have some Nolan Ryan autograph stuff. But probably my favorite item is I have a game-used bat from Jeff Bagwell, 1994. He was the National League MVP that year. And he was also the National League Triple Crown winner that year. But it was a strike-shortened season, 94 was. But it is autographed, has a certificate of authenticity, and I had a box frame made for it. And I'd forgotten about it one day. And I believe it was Mark Givens walks over to my office one day and said, "Hey, bud, you got a baseball bat over at such and such?" And he said, "She said if you didn't come pick it up next few days, she's going to sell it for what she has in that stuff."
Box.
And he said, "I'm going to buy it." He said, "But I just want to give you a chance to go get it first." Like, oh my God, thank you.
Last call.
And so I ran over there and got it. I just hadn't thought about it, And of course, I guess there was a problem with calling me. But anyway,
Man.
But Mark, he was quite the collector of a lot of sports memorabilia. And matter of fact, some of the stuff I got is stuff that Mark gave me. And
you mentioned Mark. I saw on Facebook he's helping maybe in Magnolia a little bit. Have you seen anything on that?
I don't know. I haven't talked to Mark in a while.
Some type of entertainment event. So I just saw that a couple of days
events.
ago.
The boy
He definitely does. And
for sure. More connections and
definitely.
You start talking about collections and you follow him on Facebook and man, he just every month. So how does he know this many people? He does. Has a photo with them and they invite him to go to a game or whatever.
There was a guy that used to work with Boomer and I, and he he left El Dorado and moved on in the radio business. And, our thing was in El Dorado, Arkansas, you're rarely going to get a DJ who is going to show up here with an immense amount of talent and stay here. You were either getting someone on their way up or on their way down,
Okay.
And we had a little of both. But he was on his way up. And I remember I was like, when he left, I said, that boy was 3 good firings away from being somebody's best employee. And I said, now it's just 2.
And he did make it.
But he did.
man.
He went on to become the vice president of country programming for XM Sirius Radio.
Oh, wow.
How about that?
Yeah.
So
the lick there.
He's the one who introduced the Garth Brooks channel to XM Sirius.
Oh.
And so I asked him one day, I said, so do you have Garth doing all your bidding? He's like, man, I'm Garth's a bitch. He said, Garth will look at me and be like, my coffee cup's empty.
Oh.
He's like, dude, I wear a suit to work. What do you mean your coffee cup's empty? But yeah, those people who have those connections, man, and it's like success breeds success,
Right.
So it's just like, oh no, I don't know him, but I know so-and-so and he does. And next thing you know, they're, eating dinner at the White House at a state dinner. So I just now on top of the restaurant, you also do a lot of catering.
We do.
And we were in here the other day, and your young ladies were over there, and they were making the most delicious looking fruit kebab looking things. And so I said, Boomer, go tell them that something's on fire over there. And so he jumped up. He jumped up and ran over there, and they followed after him. And I ate about 6 of them real quick.
I knew our counts were a little off. I didn't know what happened.
Look at that.
I left a big tip that day, though.
Well,
So.
we are just coming off our biggest job of the year is the El Dorado Shootout.
Yeah.
So we just
The Epsom
completed
Tour,
that. Yes, we just completed out there this week, a successful week, and or finished on Sunday, and that is such a joy. Not only working with all the volunteers from El Dorado, the Murphy USA employees, but meeting and getting to know the LPGA staff, and then the top of the tier, being able to meet those players. Tremendous athletes. You got a young lady that's 135 pounds, and here she lines up, and the ball's gone 280 yards down the middle. It's just they are tremendous athletes. That is such a underappreciated event that we have here.
I agree with you.
It is a great time. And so
Boomer's daughter and I we handled the marketing for the very first one,
Oh,
very
okay.
first one ever.
Yep.
And then she left before it all happened because she had maternity leave.
Oh, man.
Just because she gonna have a baby,
right.
And then I got stuck with some new person who wasn't very kind. But anyway,
Oh,
all
my.
that being said, but we had a good time. It was a big event, and to see where it's grown to today is just amazing.
Oh, amazing. It
Absolutely
is.
incredible. And of course, man, Mystic is such a
Beautiful.
jewel. And so, obviously we have the share tournament coming up this weekend, and I've got a buddy lives up in Greenbrier. He's coming in to play, and when I ask him every year just about to come play, and most years he does in the share. Well, this year he said, man, I'll be happy, but do you think at some point you can get me on out at Mystic? And I said, matter of fact, one of the days we're playing the share tournament is going to be at Mystic.
You may not say that after we play.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what he said.
Particularly if it's his first time to play.
Yeah, he said he's got a bunch of buddies. He just joined a country club up around Greenbrier, and he said some of his buddies at the club were like, "Oh man, you're gonna love it. It's gonna kick your ass." And he's like,
Yeah.
maybe we have 2 different definitions
Right.
Of loving it.
Of loving it,
Well,
It's a love-hate.
Mystic has such a way of humbling you
Oh, yes.
off of one.
On number one.
You hit a shot and you think, oh, that's in the middle. I'm in good shape.
It rolls
I
off.
have won this. You don't find your ball.
It rolls down in the woods.
Yes.
Well, my favorite is, and so number one at Mystic for right-handed golfers, it should play into 90% of us. Most of us hit a fade, if not a slice, right?
So it rolls right to left.
And but
the fairway?
the fairway goes down and it takes a right-hand turn.
Okay.
So
Yep.
if you hit a good fade, you should be ideal.
Yeah.
Why is it that's the only hole in the world I can hit a draw?
Oh yeah. If you ready for your fade, the draw's
Yes,
coming.
I'm going to hit a draw. On that
Oh,
hole
yeah.
every time.
Yeah, that's what separates the handicappers.
Oh yeah, well,
This past week finished the 10th year of that.
Yeah.
already. And this was our 9th year. First year, another company did it. We were able to pick it. The next year, we had done sandwiches for a few things, and the company they had before, they wasn't quite hitting the mark for what they were looking for, and I remember kind of meeting with some of them. Natalie Wood was in charge back then and everything, and they kind of, hey, we really want this thing kicked up. And so I spent 6 months convincing them that we could be the one to kick it up for you, and it's been a great event for us.
Good.
Unfortunately, when it comes to catering, and I know you know this, people will say, oh, now I want this and this and this, and, and I don't want it to be more than $6 a head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, we got some Kool-Aid and some Jello shots.
Yep.
You cannot
with
do
watered
Burger
down
King.
with watered down vodka, Jello shots.
Right.
for
You can't
$6 a
do, you
head.
can't do Burger King for less than $10.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And you got to go pick it up.
Yes. So, yeah, that's the bad part. And I've been very fortunate. I was able to, at one point in my life, commit myself to becoming a student of the game and learning how to competition grill. And I had some great mentors who drug me along and taught me a whole lot. And I've paid for a whole lot of what I've learned too. But and I have people tell me, "Oh, Sandy, my God, you need to open a restaurant." I said, "Listen, guys, I've got friends that I've watched them kill themselves, work themselves all the way into bankruptcy,
To a nub.
yeah, trying to own a restaurant. I know me, and I'm just telling you, I can't go for 2 years at hoping we can get by. That's not."
So that's us saying, just come over here to Main Street Pizza.
That's it. Just come over here. Come over here. And for all of you people who call me and say, Sandy, could you cook us about 3 or 4 briskets? And what would that run me? And I tell them, and they're like, so make it easy on yourself. And,
Hey, that brisket game's a tough game.
It is a tough game.
I'm telling you, we're fortunate that we're able to manage to do a pepperoni pizza pretty good, make a little profit on it occasionally, but that brisket game is tough.
Yeah,
everybody wants that one perfect slice from
and there's
the
only
middle.
one of those.
Right, and so
Maybe 3 or 4.
I admire these barbecue
yeah.
restaurants that are able to consistently do that brisket and do it for a reasonable price, I should say. I mean, now a brisket plate's now got to be above $20.
Yeah,
Because the price of the brisket.
Well,
Yes.
that's what I was going to say.
And then they trim it. They trim so much off of it, I don't have anywhere else to put that trim.
The other day, I figured up because a friend of mine whom I normally just won't cook for just anybody, but a friend of mine calls and said, "Hey, I need to feed about this many people. What am I looking at on brisket?" And so I figured up cost, and I just, you figure I go buy that brisket for $80, $90 per brisket, and it's 12 pounds, 14 pounds. By the time I'm done trimming it, it's 8.5 pounds, maybe. By the time I'm done smoking it, it's 6 pounds. Now, just take that for a second. I've got 6 pounds of meat I can sell if I want to break even for $90. And so I have to explain to him, this is what it's going to cost. And he was like, okay, but it was, for me, it was coming out to right at $29 a pound for me to even, and listen, I'm not making a killing. Okay. I'm making enough to cover my rub, and my rub is real expensive to make. It's very expensive to make, but I'm covering my rub and, a few minutes worth of my time because it's not covering my entire time.
Right.
Because a brisket, you could be there 8 hours, you could be there 16. You never know.
Yeah.
That's the wonderful
and
part about a
you
brisket.
mentioned rub, man. Your seasonings, your spices have they've escalated faster than
Yes.
anything in the restaurant. I feel like. I mean, it is amazing what those products cost.
I have people ask me all the time, man, just tell me one secret ingredient. And I tell them this all the time. Cavender's Greek seasoning.
I love Cavender's.
Man, if you're
Great
not
product.
using Cavender's Greek seasoning, you're missing out. And I don't care. I put it on popcorn. I really do.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got a buddy said he put it on ice cream. Now, I hadn't done that. but he also said he put my rub on ice cream. And, okay, I'm not willing to try that, but okay.
2 good stories. Sandy will I think he sold me his cost for his rub. And, he even told me what all's in his rub. But that, doesn't matter. I'm not going to do it
Sworn
anyway.
to secrecy.
And now, plus I've got a container, a rub container in my spice rack that says Lura's Rub, and it's Tom Mangum gave it to me because that's what Lura liked.
All right.
Oh yeah, I still got some left of that your
good.
daughter-in-law.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah. So my neighbor across the street one day, he was like, "Hey man, because I don't remember, I'd let him taste some food. He's like, that rub you used on that the other day. Can you make me some of that?" I said, "Man, I've got a little bit left inside. I'll just give you." And it was like a baby food jar.
Right.
And man, he popped the lid off of it, standing in my driveway. He's like, "Oh my gosh!" And he's like, "That's it, man. That's the difference." He says, "My mom told me it was the rub." And so the next day, he catches me in my backyard. He says, "Mama said make her a quart jar of that rub." And I was like, "Man, listen, a quart jar of that rub is," I said, "just my cost is going to be $40 easily." And I think I'm probably cutting him a break because I still have plenty of salt and cracked black pepper, so I'm not really counting what those cost. And I said, "It's going to be $40 easily." He's like, "Mama said make her a quart of that rub." So I did. I made another whole batch, and when I make a batch, it's about 2 gallons. And so I put her a quart jar together and took it over there to him. Well, he brings me $60 a couple days later. Mama said it was worth at least $60.
All right.
Okay,
There you go.
Big compliment.
So that paid for about a quarter of what it cost.
Oh, right.
The whole big thing.
Yeah. So it's just that stuff. It's high, and but yeah, people ask me all the time, "Man, just tell me one of your secret seasonings." And I tell them Cavenders.
There you go.
If you're not using Cavenders in whatever you're doing,
And it's hard to know how to do big batch stuff, and Donnie knows how to do that stuff.
Yes.
If you're feeding 300 or 400 people, it's a whole lot different than if you got an intimate supper for 6. And Martha in her business has learned how to do that over the years. Now she and I aren't able to make all the steps anymore, but she can still do the big batch stuff. But
One of the tricks to those large groups, and it's so easy to get away from it, taste everything you serve.
Does.
Yes.
I mean,
She does.
You get busy and you're doing 200 pounds of chicken, and so you got 6 pounds going, and 6 pans going, and before you know it, you've not
One of them's
tasted
not
it.
right.
You need it to taste that
And
product.
Martha does.
It's-
She tastes everything.
Yep.
In fact, she'll come get me because her taste buds, she knows what all goes in it, but she'll ask me if it's the right taste. And one of her things that she makes that I don't know if she copied it or just developed it, is chicken salad.
her chicken salad is the bomb.
And and people will ask her, said, what's the recipe for your chicken salad? Martha goes, man, I ain't telling you that.
No.
In fact, her daddy, before he passed, he gave her a recipe, said, now, and he called her a smoothie or sooty or something funny. He said, here's my recipe for chicken and dumplings. And so, man, we rocked on there, and her daddy had passed away, and she'd make chicken and dumplings. And so she asked her sister, she said, Monkey said, Daddy gave me his recipe for chicken and dumplings. She said, it never has tasted like this. She goes, well, let me see the recipe. And she read, she goes, that ain't Daddy's recipe for chicken and dumplings. He said, because he had told Monkey, he said, don't tell Martha that I didn't give her all the ingredients. He tricked her. But there's people that'll call you and say, and they've done that to you. Mm-hmm. Heck, I did it to you.
Yeah.
What is your recipe for your rub? So Sandy knows I ain't going into business, but anyway.
We get it a fair amount here, especially on the armadillo eggs. That's
Yeah.
where, everybody, okay, what's the secret,
Yeah.
Hey, that Cavender's is made here in Arkansas.
Yes.
And give you another little thing. Jim Phillips out at Smackover is trying to stand in line that if they ever decide to
he's going to
go,
pick it up,
sell it or something, he'd love to be, he's hoping that that maybe that'd be moving to South Arkansas one of these years.
Man, I'm going to tell you, again, if you've never used Cavender's Greek seasoning, and I know you say Greek seasoning, I mean,
no, that's it.
I'm just telling you, if you haven't used Cavender's, then you're missing out. Your sauces, your spices, your marinades, all that stuff, you're missing out.
You go through that Welcome Center there in Harrison. They keep the little samples of the Cavender's there at the Welcome Center. You stop by, go to the restroom.
Piece of Arkansas history.
Grab you a map and a little package of Cavender's.
Yeah. So, Martha called me one time and she said, Sam, she said, I done let my mouth overrun my feet. And I was like, what do you mean? She said, well, I was talking to these people. They want this event catered, and it's this, and this, and they're feeding 200 people or whatever.
It was a lot.
And they want brisket, and they want pork
Pulled
butts,
pork.
and I was like, oh my, okay. And she said, I will give you a stack of dead presidents to take that on. And I was like, okay. And so we sat down together and we figured up how much brisket and pork butts. And man, I had every cooker in the south of the state going. I was borrowing cookers from people. I had them going all over. I had my big one filled up. We weren't actually living in our house at that time because of the snowpocalypse that had destroyed my house. And so we were living at Bobby Joe Edmonds' guest house out there, and I had that big smoker of his stacked up out there. I had borrowed one from Richard Mason that I had stacked full. I mean, it was just everywhere. And I'm running all around South Arkansas for 2 days cooking briskets and pork butts.
But man, it came back in like I like to see it, in gallon Ziploc bags.
I vacuum sealed them, yeah.
And
I went ahead and just sliced everything up, vacuum sealed it, and then I took the burnt ends and made them separate and vacuum sealed those, and all the pulled pork. I put like maybe 2.5 pounds per bag in it. Yeah. And I told her, I said, all you got to do when you get ready to serve this stuff is put it in some boiling water for about 30 minutes.
Put it in the water.
Pull that out and that package, and it's ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
Donnie, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, she called me that night, and she was like, ooh, man, they went on. So
it was good. Do you ever run into this when you do an event when someone says, listen, my grandma makes the best pretzel salad, and she wants to make the pretzel salad for this event. What do you do?
What has worked for us is, okay, hand me that recipe and I'll make it for you.
Well,
and, depending on what the situation now, but that's kind of our normal response.
So the first time that happened to us, we were doing a wedding back in the day, probably 20 years ago. And it happened just like that. My grandmother she makes this best potato soup or whatever it was. And Martha says, well, you think we should let her? I said, by no means.
No.
By no means, because if anybody gets sick on anything, it's not going to be grandma's pretzel salad.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yep.
So, we made a hard, fast ruling. I'm glad you said that, because that just verifies. If you're doing an event, or if you're asking a caterer to do an event, please do not ask, or even have two caterers.
Right.
No.
Yeah, that's common.
That's common, too, and they do that. And
common courtesy there.
But, we've done events like that where there were several caterers that did each station, a big event.
Right.
And, either you do it or you sit out.
Oh, well, when it's that large of an event, that's what you do. But that's been our response, because we get, occasionally. About the only thing we don't, like if there's something here, we do allow outside birthday cakes. But everything else, you kind of got to be under control of it.
Well, you do. I mean, again, it's
not kind of, you have to be.
Yeah, it's your name and reputation on the line.
Right.
Well, when I went into the insurance business, that really reaffirmed that you've got to, because the liability of that,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Donnie, thank you so much.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
enjoyed it very much.
Absolutely, and we'll be thinking about and praying for that grandbaby.
Okay.
And we just glad to hear some things are headed in the right direction. And,
okay.
Again, thank you for having us and
letting us be here.
Yeah,
we're glad to have y'all. Yeah. It's kind of turned into a nice event here.
Kind of turned into a thing, hasn't it? Yeah. And I have people tell me all the time, said, I'm going to come sit in on y'all's show. I was like, that's why we do it in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week.
Try to cut down on it a little bit.
Because we don't necessarily need an audience. You want to see us act fools?
Yeah,
that's a real quick way to do it. Yeah.
So thank you, Donnie.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you for being with us. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
Bad things happen, and of course, they never happen at the right time. Maybe it's just a little bump and cosmetic damage, or it's turned into a huge insurance claim, and you just don't know where to go next. That's why so many of your neighbors and friends call on Cook's Body Shop in El Dorado. From the minor to the major, Cook's Body Shop is in your corner. Need someone to help you deal with insurance? Look to Cook's. Need advice on what to do next? Look to Cook's. Need a free estimate? Look to Cook's. Bad things are going to happen, and when they do, look to Cook's.
Homes are typically heated or cooled 24/7, 365, using nearly half of all home energy. That new stainless steel refrigerator may look cool, but upgrading to the quietest and most efficient HVAC system can have much greater rewards. Choose a system with a Wi-Fi enabled thermostat, so the most important appliance in the house is also the smartest, allowing you to set the perfect comfort level from anywhere. Presented by Lennox. Learn what perfect feels like at Lennox.com.
For nearly 50 years, South Arkansas floors have been covered by El Dorado Custom Carpets. And not just carpets, but true hardwood, laminate, stone, porcelain, ceramic, marble, and more. And guess what? It doesn't end with just floors. El Dorado Custom Carpets carries a tremendous selection of backsplash, wall tile, and area rugs. The truth of the matter is, one commercial can't come close to telling you everything you can find at El Dorado Custom Carpets, 1601 East Main Street in El Dorado. Call 870-862-4945.
Hey, and welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer. Boomer, you know, I can't stand people who think they're better than me.
Well, yeah.
And they may be. I mean, I grew up on a red dirt road, okay? I realize that there may be a whole lot of people who are better than me, but if you truly are better than me, then you don't make me feel less, right?
Yeah, you won't act like you are.
You don't act like, you're lording that over me.
Yeah.
And so I don't like that. Like chopstick users. Can't stand chopstick users.
You just use a fork.
My wife uses chopsticks.
Yeah.
Now, granted, she lived in Japan for a whole lot of years. But I'm okay with people who use chopsticks at the eating Asian food. What I don't like is people who use chopsticks when they're eating some other kind of food.
Why would they do that?
That's what I'm saying. Because they're showing off.
That's a show off.
Look at me, I'm better than you with
I can use this
my
like-
finger dexterity.
Yeah. Have you watched them eat it though? The real it's like a shovel. That's what it is.
My thing is my ancestors didn't fight and claw their way to the top of the food chain for me to eat with sticks.
That's true.
I am much happier eating with a fork.
Yeah. You seen their alphabet? Come on, man. Can you use an abacus? Yeah. Come on, man. And they write with them big things with a.
Yeah.
Now they know how to fight.
Yeah.
They know how to fight. They know how to build swords.
Well,
steal stuff.
and they can also build wilderness shacks out of nothing. I mean, I'm sure you've seen those TikToks.
Bamboo and
wet dirt. And next thing you know, they got a dam and it's hydroelectric and.
Yeah. I watch those.
All
TikToks.
I'm going to say, though, however, about this is, dude just cut a fireplace into the side of this hill right here. That is the softest dirt I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm just going to be real honest with you.
And he's making a clay oven.
Yeah.
And he starts a fire right then.
Right then. Yeah. And
then he stops and makes him some soup and opens up and has a side of beef in there and cuts it up.
Yeah, cuts it all up. And
makes a skewer with it.
And then, it only takes 3 buckets to fill up the homemade pool that he made over here. And
now, those two guys that can dig and make a mansion out of a side of a hill or down in the dirt and place to lay down, and then they got a pool, and then they go haul the water in, and next thing you know, they're swimming in it and diving off the top. You seen those guys?
Yeah, but
2 guys.
I had a pool one time when I was a kid that didn't have a filter. It was good for 2 days.
Yeah, that's it.
And after that, it was green.
Then it's scum.
And then I got the swimmers here.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
catch the swimmers.
I done caught the swim. I done caught the ear aids.
I like what happened at your pool in your backyard that you had.
Oh yeah.
When the liner suddenly had the big leak. You know what, Dad? We're gonna tell this story. I don't want to. Is that okay to tell?
It is
this?
okay. Yeah.
It's been a long time ago.
So my middle son, when he was just the baby at the time, one Saturday night we're all swimming. We get out of the pool. Everybody takes a shower and everyone goes to bed about midnight on a Saturday night. The next morning is Sunday morning, and my now ex-wife, she comes home. She worked the night shift, and she comes home and she says, "Hey, there's no water in the pool.
The pool is gone."
I said, "Someone stole it." Because it was there just a few hours ago. It's 7:00 in the morning. I walk outside, shut the pump off. I look over there in the pool. I can't find the hole, but all the water's gone.
It's gone. Mm-hmm.
I can't find the hole. My son comes outside. He's about 8 years old, sleepy-eyed, rubbing his eyes, walks up on the deck and says, "What you doing, Dad?" And I said, "Water's missing out of the pool." Mm-hmm. He looks over and he says, "Well, there's the hole." Now, I've been standing there for a while. I hadn't found the hole yet.
He knows where it is.
And he knew right where it was. I look down there, and it is the perfect shape and size of the handle that holds the dip net. So I'll reach over there where the dip net is, and I take it, and I stick that pole down in there, and I mean, it fit perfect.
Right in it.
Right in there.
Yeah.
I was like, wonder how
what
that happened. He's like, man, that could have been anybody, Daddy. That could have even been me.
Yeah.
I said,
he was making a good lawyer because he's putting doubt in your mind about who could have been me.
was it you, buddy? He said,
Yep.
yeah. And I said, what
It's all
happened?
right.
And he said, you know how you told me not to play with that pole? Yeah.
Well,
I
I
was
did.
playing with that pole. Yeah. Figured that much of it out on my own, son. Thanks. And he said, I said, what, did you pole vault off into the pool? What did you do? And he said, I dropped it, and it went over the deck, and it hit down there at the bottom. I said, was this yesterday? He said, no, it was Monday. He said, I thought I'd gotten away with it.
Thought it just sealed over.
It took almost a week for it to bust, but it finally
He
busted.
finally kind of found a spot and left.
And let me tell you, his brother and sister still give him unmitigated hell
Oh, man.
about him busting our
You're
pool.
the one that busted
We
the
had a
bottom of the
pool
pool.
in our own backyard.
Busted the line.
Till you come along. So, yeah. Okay. I tell you, I don't like people who think they're better than me.
Yeah.
Here's a story.
Okay.
Every Wednesday morning, the Cool Moms Club used to meet at the local coffee shop after they would drop their kids off for school. Now, they weren't officially a club, but they moved in packs. They yoga leggings, iced lattes,
You know the group.
unspoken competition over who brings the healthiest snacks to PTA
Yeah.
meetings. Anyway, one of the ladies is named Melissa, and she has a secret. She thinks she's better than them.
Yeah.
Not as in I have more money than you, but as in I don't cut my kids' grapes up because I expect them to know how to chew better than you. And the story goes on, it says, Melissa, she would tolerate her friend Becky and her always pitching about essential oils. Her friend Tina and her failed Pinterest routines or practices or whatever. She would politely smile when her friend Heather bragged about her kid being in the advanced reading group. Translation, he knows what a semicolon is. Melissa's only outlet for her true thoughts was her sister Kara. And every week she would send a cathartic text afterwards. Quote, ugh, coffee group was wild again. Becky smells like a walking lavender candle. Heather brought up her genius child for the 400th time. And Tina thinks hot glue is a personality trait. Honestly, I'm the Beyonce of this group. They're just my backup dancers.
So she is demoralized all of them and made herself the queen bee.
Here's the problem.
Okay.
What she thought she was sending to just her sister, she somehow added the whole group. The mom group, the cool mom group, got added to the text as well.
I've seen that movie.
Hit send, delivered, read by 3 people immediately. Becky replied first. At least lavender smells better than your attitude. Heather chimes in. FYI, semicolons aren't important, unlike you. Tina, bless her glue-covered heart, wrote, you just wish you had the range to be Beyonce. You're more like Michelet.
Michelet.
90s,
Michelle?
no, 90s R&B singer Michelet.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that one.
No talent.
Yeah.
Or very little. Melissa stared at her phone in horror, calculating if she could fake her own death and move to a different district before next Wednesday. However, the following week, she showed up at coffee anyway. There was a seat open for her.
Yeah.
And sitting right next to Tina. In front of that seat was a latte and a gift bag. Nervously, Melissa peeked inside. It was a bottle of lavender essential oil, a bookmark shaped like a semicolon, a glue stick, and a card. And the card read, welcome back, Beyonce. And Melissa realized sometimes your backup singers have to be in on the joke, too. Now,
They were very, very nice.
very
about it.
forgiving. Prior to all that going on, to that reconciliation,
Yeah.
a Facebook post got made.
Okay.
So this was a post in the Maplewood Moms. I don't know Maplewood. I don't know what state.
Yeah.
Just Heather. So I think Heather was the thought her kid was the smartest one in the world because he knew his semicolon. Heather posted. So apparently one of our friends thinks she's Beyonce and we're her backup dancers. Anyone else get that text this morning? Becky. Better Beyonce than Britney Spears 2007 hashtag lavender life. Tina, she can't even hot glue a popsicle stick without supervision. Melissa, the mom who sent the text. Okay, wow. In my defense, autocorrect question mark. Kara, Melissa's sister. Bitch, don't drag anybody else into this. You typed out Beyonce on your own. That's her sister. She's not coming to her defense. Bitch, don't drag anybody else into this. Pam, who's just a random PTA mom. She's not in the cool
Not
moms
in the
group.
yeah.
Yeah. She said, I'm following this drama like a Netflix series. Heather, Melissa, your kid brought Doritos to Healthy Snack Day. Beyonce would never. Melissa, listen, Doritos are corn, and corn is a vegetable.
So, yeah,
So-
they all kind of took it.
Melissa's husband, Greg. Can I just say I did not sign up for this level of chaos on my news feed? All three of the other moms, shut up, Greg.
You have no reason to be in here.
Yeah. Pam, another mom. I put up a petition that "Shut Up, Greg" is the new group motto.
name.
Becky, Melissa, we're meeting Wednesday. You're bringing snacks. Surprise us, Beyonce. Melissa, fine, but y'all will be lucky if I don't bring a wind machine for a dramatic entrance. Karen, neighborhood watch captain. So apparently there's a mom drama explosion over at Maplewood Elementary involving someone who thinks she's Beyonce. Heard it started over coffee. Can someone confirm before I walk my dog past Starbucks? Dale, a man, says, this is why kids these days don't know how to write in cursive. Next person, shut up, Dale.
Shut up, Dale.
Heather, the semicolon mom. Confirmed, she called herself Beyonce and the rest of us backup dancers. For the record, my son is already reading the Odyssey. Several more posts. And then the principal of the elementary school. While we support healthy self-expression, Beyonce-related disputes should not spill over into the carpool lane. Please and thank you.
Shut up, principal.
Shut up, Greg. That was Becky, the essential oils mom. Beyonce wouldn't mock lavender heals.
It does, yeah.
Tina, the Pinterest / hot glue mom. Hot glue to tiara for Melissa, although she doesn't deserve it. Janine, who's a neighborhood gossip, heard from my cousin's babysitter that Melissa once brought store-bought cupcakes to a bake sale. Store-bought, y'all.
Store-bought.
Officer Ramirez, the local police liaison between the police department and the school. This is not a police matter. I don't know why y'all tagged me in this. Unless Beyonce herself shows up, carry on.
Yeah, I am not going to be there unless Beyonce, the queen bee, is going to be there.
Another one says, I'm just here for the comment section. Someone screenshot all this before it gets deleted.
Yeah.
Because you know it's going to get deleted, right?
Yeah.
Dale, the old man from the beginning.
Yeah.
Back in my day, moms just smoked Virginia Slims out in the school parking lot. Heather, well, back in your day, Dale, seatbelts were optional. Things changed.
Oh.
Then one of the moderators, hey, just a reminder, everyone, let's keep our posts neighborly. But also, Melissa, are you bringing the snacks or do I need to go buy my own cupcakes?
Man, they wrote this in the ground.
They did. Melissa, yes, I will bring snacks, but no, it will not be cupcakes. It will be Doritos because Beyonce, don't take request. Hashtag mic drop.
That's. I wish I'd have been in on that thread.
Yes,
That's funny.
That is too much.
But when Greg come in, they go, shut up, Greg.
I was talking to you.
Ain't nobody talking. Stay out of this.
That's my oldest. She used to tell the boys, now when she was a senior in high school, they were 10, 11, 12. So, they're at that annoying age anyway. And they're boys. So anytime they heard the word buns, balls, nuts, wieners, it was just a
there was a wiener dog just passed by.
He said wiener. It was always like that. Mm-hmm. And so she would just be like, I hate y'all, and I don't want you to be my brother anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can't say that. She's like, okay, fine. You have no friends. That's what she would tell them. You have no friends. If I didn't talk to you, you would be lonely.
My older sister, the closest in age to me, is 8 years older than I am. And then I have a brother, the middle brother, that was like 12 years older than I am. So they were already in high school when I was in first grade. Mm-hmm. And so they convinced me that I wasn't part of the family. Said, look how far away you are from all of us. Said, you're not really a part of this family. They just went and got you. And I'd go,
No, that won't give you any complexes at all. I just,
Mama, did y'all really just get me? She says, well, yes, son, we brought you home from the hospital. They go, see, I told you so. Oh, I'm going to have to call my sister when this is over. I've forgotten about that.
yeah, be mad at her too.
I'm going to be mad at her.
Hey, Boomer, a new world record was set this week.
In what?
An Austrian daredevil lit his body on fire and pulled a car a distance of 328 feet in 56.42 seconds to earn a Guinness World Record title. Josef Totling became the first person to hold the record for the fastest 100-meter car pull in full body burn when he did that back in Vienna in June. Well, now he has the record for the furthest to pull a car while you're on fire. And there's a video showing it. And he already has multiple world records. So he has the world record for the longest duration full body burn without oxygen. He set himself on fire for 5 minutes and 41 seconds. Farthest distance pulled by a moving vehicle while on fire, 1,909 feet 5 inches. So he sets himself on fire and they take off dragging him behind a truck.
No. He's pulling the vehicle.
No. That's what he did to get this world record. This is a different world record.
They pulling him.
They pulling him while he's on fire.
Well, he's got that asbestos suit on, I'm sure, though.
I don't know what he had on.
Yeah. Because if they drug him, he'd be all raw.
Yeah, you would think so. Let's see. Fastest 200 meters cycling during a full body burn at 49.5 seconds.
So I'm sorry.
And farthest distance body burn on a zip line, 201.6 feet.
So the common denominator here is this dude likes to set himself on fire.
That's what I'm saying. But seriously, can we please stop pretending that this is worthy of a world record and a news story?
Why would you encourage someone to do that?
Can we at least talk about the records that really matter? I mean, because there's very little chance that if Sandy ever catches on fire, I'm going to survive it. Okay?
Yeah, we're not going to be thinking about no Guinness World Records either.
No.
Don't put him out yet.
Don't put him out. He was that close. Come on, y'all. We was gonna get new wheels on the trailer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer and watch this. Let's talk about the world records that mean something, like, you know, how long you can hold your breath underwater. That's something important.
Jimmy Hoffa has that. Sorry, Jimmy.
How far can you jump, or how fast can you run? I mean,
those guys.
You know, everyday records, the most high fives given in 1 minute.
Yeah, skipping a rope. How many times you can skip a rope?
Yes, absolutely.
How many shots you can make in an hour?
Are one that I'm pretty sure I hold the world record on. How many times can you trip over your own feet in 30 seconds?
Sure.
I'm pretty sure I hold the world record. Make it look like you're falling for 30 straight seconds.
I meant to do that.
So go ahead, Austria. You can have the flaming car. Mm-hmm. I'm done pretending I care about weird world records.
Yeah.
Just absolutely done.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we have more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
With a name you trust, you can count on us. Glen Mechanical, plumbing, heating, and air.
For over 6 decades, Glen Mechanical has been specializing in HVAC, plumbing, and all mechanical jobs. 3 generations family-owned and operated since 1956. Glen Mechanical's business is based on relationships. They support and give back to the communities they work in. Contact them for all of your HVAC, plumbing, and mechanical needs. GlenMechanical.com.
Derek Henry.
Hey, Jake from State Farm. I saved so much bundling, it inspired my workout. Auto! Home!
Okay, and this is auto again, right?
Auto!
Hey, this is my living room.
Home!
Bundling, just another way to save with the personal price plan.
The dog isn't allowed on the couch, Derek.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Whether it's protecting families from the predators in nature, to helping food taste better and last longer naturally, or just making sure the local ball field is at its best, Lanxess is involved in our everyday lives. With more than 450 employees locally and more than $32 million in payroll each year, Lanxess is doing their part to be a good neighbor and leader in South Arkansas. With that in mind, remember to call before you dig. Know what's below. In Arkansas, it's the law and it's a free service. Call 811 before you dig. This brought to you by Lanxess.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer. Boomer, there have been, since the death of Charlie Kirk, there have been a number of repercussions for people who made online celebrations. Derogatory statements, right? Yeah. Boomer, one of the things you've taught me, and in all seriousness here, Boomer's been a great mentor to me. One of the things you taught me is the ability to take criticism and to assess it and apply it as needed. So, for example, if somebody comes up to me and they're in really good shape and they want to talk to me about being in good shape, I'm a whole lot more likely to listen to them as opposed to someone who's going to star in the next season of my 600-pound life, right? Yeah. So, a lot of it is the author of said criticism. Well, it appears that there are a number of show hosts and all in Britain who have taken issue with America and our freedom of speech, that we're not being true to our freedom of speech. And, Britain's talking to me about freedom of speech is like a guy who can't get insurance talking to me about how to drive, I mean, go to Britain and say something that they don't agree with, and let's see how that works out for you. I mean, first of all, I'm not taking advice from people who don't know how to make sweet tea.
Yeah.
Okay? And you drink it hot.
Yeah.
I mean, you make black sausage and you call it pudding.
Yeah.
What the hell? Why am I going to listen to you? Yeah. You don't know what to call the trunk of a car, the hood of a car, a bathroom, or a police officer.
Yeah.
But I'm supposed to listen to you about things. I'm sorry. This is, this is America. We got Jack in the Box. Y'all got something called Jack in the Green. What the hell is that? I don't want to eat that.
And y'all drive on the wrong side of the road.
Definitely. The only funny time is during World War II. For whatever reason, they were driving on the right side of the road during those times.
That's because we were all over there.
Y'all don't even know who runs your damn country. You got a king and a prime minister and still have a murder rate in London higher than New York City. But you want to talk to us about free speech.
So what you got? I think you got something going on
there.
No,
that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
They just, they're being critical of us, and I'm just like, hello,
And what is so ironical going on right now is that the left is saying that the right is trying to stop. They're trying to ruin our democracy and stop free speech.
Yeah.
But they forgot that YouTube is now unmasking, putting people back on that the Democrats said that they needed to take off.
They had to take them off
because they weren't following the science, or they were,
or they actually were following the science,
or they were making up stories about politics.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah. So
and the ones that said Charlie Kirk was a hate monger. If you say that, you didn't watch him.
You've never watched him.
You didn't.
And I'm not saying you got to agree to it. I'm not saying you have to agree with what he says.
Yeah.
You can disagree with him all day. Mm-hmm. One of my kids, I know he disagrees with Charlie Kirk 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Right? But I've never heard my kids say Charlie Kirk's a hate monger.
Yeah, you can't call him names.
You can, it's simply untrue.
Especially when someone gets shot.
Yeah.
And then those that just said, good.
Did you watch the tribute Sunday?
Yes, I did.
Golly.
I'm telling you, there's been some earth movement, some movement of time, and some things that are going to be taken out of that and from that is going to move God's plan forward, in my opinion.
Man.
And Marfro and I both said, how do you justify in your mind? We don't understand the mind of God, but how do you justify in your mind that God would allow something like that to happen? And you can't blame God for what we did in the garden. You can't,
right.
we set in motion things that happened that we took fully advantage of what God gave us and told us not to have.
Mm-hmm.
And so we live in a fallen world, and things are going to happen. He's able to take anything. He knows what's going to happen.
Right.
And he's able to take anything that happens and make something good out of it. And it says that in the Bible. And it also says, if my people which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and heal their land. And I'm going to tell you, we ought to stay on that verse until we get that right, because we haven't got that verse right yet. He's talking about if my people, not all the ones that
not
don't,
the world.
Not the world. If my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray.
Let's start there. Let's just start right there.
Humble yourselves, and just say, well, what does humble yourself mean?
I tell you, if you pray very long, you'll get that way.
You understand what humble yourself.
You will get that way,
because you'll and I'm getting chills right now when I bring myself before a righteous God. The first thing I do is say, Lord, I don't even know what to say right now.
Yeah, because I'm me, and I know
you know me, and I know that you've been with me every spot, every dot and tittle.
And if you dropped me off today and wiped your hands of me, I wouldn't blame you one bit.
Yeah. If you called me out, because God will do that a lot of times with somebody that's going in the wrong direction. If He can't call you in, He'll call you out and take you out. And I, but back to Charlie Kirk, what's going to happen post Charlie Kirk's tragic death is 1,000 Charlie Kirks are going to be blossomed through this. And, you say, well, why would you justify that someone shot somebody, now something's good going to happen about it? Because we serve a righteous God. Mm-hmm. And that's what's going to happen. And we had a guy today that goes to the ice, not the ice plant. The
ice facility.
Ice facility in Dallas and shoots some people. And he, and then he shot himself. And
he wrote on his bullets a bunch of derogatory things.
From ice. And we've got people all over the country saying they don't want ICE taking their community, their community. And it's so maddening to people that understand. And you know what? I don't agree with everything that our president says, and how sometimes he's kind of braggadocious.
Matter of fact, I never disagreed with him more than I did Sunday during the Charlie Kirk Memorial.
Yeah, he got political in that.
And it's just, now listen, don't make the mistake of believing that Donald Trump is a Sunday school teacher.
No.
Because he's not.
No.
I don't know the man's heart. I don't judge his walk with Christ, okay? It is what it is. Mm-hmm. Him and Jesus know about that, okay? Yeah. I will say, however, when you've had an entire 4 hours of people talking about love and forgiveness and, showing love and forgiveness and the power of God and the moving of the Holy Spirit, and I talked to people who were there, who were like, Sandy, I've been in revivals that didn't have this much of the moving of God's Spirit. Mm-hmm. So, all that, and then, Trump's like, I hate my enemies. I wish they'd die.
Yes, I hate my enemies. I'm not as good as Charlie. And then he started to, they stole that election. He's got on that, and then he goes to the UN yesterday, and he does the same thing. Well, I've never been wrong. I was right about everything. I'm doing Ross Perot's voice now. Yeah. But,
Voodoo economics and chickens.
Hey, are you going to let me speak? We've got to get under the hood. We've got to understand what we've got to do.
But anyway, I disagree with him there. I'm like you. I don't agree with everything he does or says or proposes or which wouldn't it be a boring world if I did? Mm-hmm. But anyway, all of that aside.
Well, let me say one more thing and we'll put it aside. There are times in history when we've needed, like it said in The Godfather, we need a wartime consigliere.
Yeah.
And I think this man was right for the time and place because like Martha says, he do not care.
Yeah.
He do not care. He's going to say what he wants. He's going to do what he thinks is best for our country. And we are America first, and then we can get everything else in line. We cannot continue to help everybody in the world through aid if we don't have ourselves correct, So anyway, all right, all that aside.
Yeah, no, I'm 100%.
Okay.
100% with you. The whole point being is that it's there's a new day dawning.
Yes, there is.
I don't think any of us can even comprehend yet.
I don't think we do, Sandy. And if you watch that, if anybody watched that, like you said, it was, and I'm glad you were able to talk to some people. I want to hear more about that.
My thing is that there's something happening.
Uh-huh.
And if
it's a paradigm shift.
We don't make this about church. Okay, this is you don't tune into this so you get a weekly revival service, right?
Yeah.
But I would be remiss if I didn't say, if you don't feel what the rest of us are talking about in the atmosphere, then I would just encourage you to talk to the Lord about it.
Yeah.
Because he said, my sheep know my voice.
Yeah.
And if you start talking to him, I promise you, he will talk back. It won't be audible. It won't be, but sooner or later, somewhere you're going to see those answers to those questions you have.
Yes.
There is something happening. And, my entire life, I've heard, we need revival. We need revival to come to the White House. Well, let me tell you, revival doesn't start at the White House.
No, it starts with you.
And it doesn't start at the schoolhouse, and it doesn't even start at the church house. It starts at your house. And I think we're at one of those places where I think there are people who are looking around saying, you know what? As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. So, okay, move on. Florida man.
.org.
Yeah. Florida man. How about that?
That's good.
All right.
We can flip the script.
Daytona Beach, Florida. A man who ran naked through a North Florida airport last year.
Naked or naked?
NEKKID.
Naked.
Naked.
Not naked.
Not naked.
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 All right.
Yes.
That's intent.
Ran through a North Florida airport last year screaming about a bomb threat, has been sentenced to 10 years of probation. John Thomas Greenwood, 27, of Daytona Beach, was also ordered to pay restitution to the airlines because they shut down the whole thing and searched the terminals, and flights were missed and all that. The judge's sentence is lower than the nearly 4 years in prison recommended by the state sentencing guidelines. And so now this judge is a little bit on the hot seat, and people are like, hey, you basically just gave him a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Well, the judge, he and the public defender were talking in front of cameras, and the public defender said, look, my client hasn't had an addiction to Adderall, and he had a massive brain trauma that is known to the court, has been proven to the court. And the judge said, so I took those things into consideration. And I know people who take Adderall legally and prescribed, and I asked them, I said, would it make you run naked through an airport? And they said, well, if you already have synapses in the brain that aren't connecting, yes, easily, 100%,
do something crazy,
no doubt.
I'll be.
It can make you do it. And so I thought, Boomer, I wish I'd have had time. I would have just done it. We'd play it right here. But I thought we could do a commercial for Adderall.
Okay.
Yeah.
How we're going to do that? You have a script?
Well, no, I mean, I got a script right here.
All right.
Do you struggle with focus? You know that voice.
Yeah.
Do you struggle with focus?
Yes.
And then there's a bathtub in the middle of a pasture or something. Are distractions keeping you from achieving your maximum potential? Adderall can help. Helps you channel your energy and tackle your day. One spreadsheet, sticky note, or sock drawer at a time. Now we cut to a guy who's alphabetizing his cereal in the cabinet,
And lining up his socks with the colors in the right direction.
Absolutely, yes. Ask your doctor if Adderall is right for you. Side effects may include cleaning the house at 2 a.m., including behind the refrigerator. Writing a business plan for a business you'll never start. Rearranging your sock drawer for hours on end. Explaining Lord of the Rings in extreme detail. Forgetting to eat, but remembering every lyric to a 2004 Fall Out Boy song. Sudden 5-minute comprehension of quantum physics. Becoming emotionally attached to your favorite pen. Losing track of time and realizing it's been 2 days.
Ooh, been there.
Googling, how can I become president at 3:47 in the morning? Adderall. Ask your doctor if it's right for you. And focus your chaos.
And that's it. Or it may be ADHD that you want to make sure that the two light switches that control the same light are in the same direction.
Listen, you can say whatever you want to say about that, but I do that. I got one 3-way switch in my house, or one light that's controlled like that, and by gosh, don't let me find it the other way around.
You want it the right direction.
You better believe
when
I
I
can't
come in this door, I want it on.
I can't sleep.
If you go over there and turn it off, I'm going to go over there and turn it on and turn it off.
Turn off over here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they make medicine for that, but I can't sleep if that's going on at my house.
Well, you told me one time, we were at an Astros game, and you told me that you play Jenga or whatever with the crowd up there.
I can.
Like the shapes coming. What's that little game we play with?
Tetris.
Tetris come down. You play Tetris at the stadium.
Yeah. The funny part is it's basically turned into what Candy Crush is. I can look at it. I can look at a crowd, and I've often said this. I'm maybe one IQ point this side of Rain Man. Okay.
Okay.
I really.
No, I know.
I have to fight it.
Yeah, I know you do.
It's some compulsions that I have to fight. And it's why I sit here and fidget a lot. And I catch myself doing it. And when I'm editing the video, I'm I'm sitting there fidgeting all the time.
You watching me do it too, because I'm always doing it.
But I could sit and look at a crowd, and I could think, if I could move those two people there and those three over there and those right there, then everybody in yellow will be right there, and everybody right there will be blue, and everybody right there will be green.
What is wrong with them? Why don't they get up and move?
And that is one of those compulsions I have to fight, because I can really, that can become my whole world for 10 or 15 minutes. And the bad part of that is once that kicks in, it's really hard to turn it off. Then I'll get that way about everything.
So you can go down a rabbit hole real easily.
Real easily. I remember one day I did that, watching a ball game. I did it, but I showed Boomer. I was like, "Hey, see if you move them here and here and here."
We were sitting in the stadium at the Astros.
Yeah, but I was watching a ball game one day, and I did that, and I caught myself, and I got up and I went outside and was throwing some wood into my smoker. I was smoking some briskets or pork butts or something, and I was literally having a panic attack because I used two pieces of wood that were not the same length.
Woo!
And that normally doesn't happen to me.
Woo!
But when I go down that hole, it happens.
Just happens.
And I had an incident here, probably the last one I've had in over a year, but I had an incident here a couple weeks ago where I was overwhelmed and just too much needed to happen, and I didn't have enough time. And while I know what to do and I know how to do it, and I'm pretty quick at it, and probably quicker than most, the stuff that needed to be done, it still wasn't going to be enough time. And so knowing that I need to bust my butt as much as I can and I'm still going to fail is hard for me. So I'm used to busting my butt and being successful, not busting my butt and still coming up short. The whole thing here is am I going to come up one day's worth of work short, or am I going to come up 1 week's worth of work short? And that's why I had to keep going. But that is the worst feeling for me.
You know, I've told Martha before that she asked me about some of my my personality flaws or whatever. We were talking about it, and I said, Martha, my whole life, no matter where I'm at, I feel like I need to be doing something else somewhere else.
Yeah.
That I need to get this over quick, get this done, because she goes, you're kidding me. I said, even just sitting here sometimes, I feel like I need to be doing something else. She said, well, she had noticed that when we went to Florida the first time, that it was 3 days before I was able to relax. I said, she said, oh my God, I see what you're talking about now. She said, you're just now, it's Wednesday or what, Tuesday.
Yeah, whatever.
And so, yeah. And so those things, spirit-filled temperament, I've read those books, and you try to put more Jesus inside your heart. And, I said this last week that we all have a God-sized hole in our soul. And the best way that I can perceive that is that the only thing that fits in that spot is the Spirit of the Lord.
Yes.
And that's the only thing that's going to fill it and give you the feeling of accomplishment that you have in your life. Hey, when you realize that if the refrigerator goes out tonight, that it's God's fault, I mean, not God's fault, but it's God's problem to fix, that said, Lord, that's your refrigerator. You got to help me figure out how we're going to do this. So anyway.
Well, that's like, and Boomer knows the story, and I'm not going to go into it here, but I had a situation going on and about a year ago, and I said, Lord, I don't know what you're going to do, but you got a house note due.
Yeah, you got you bet.
I don't know what you're going to do.
You looked at this checkbook.
I don't know what you're going to do, Lord, but you got a house note due. And
when God takes you to those places where there's the only thing that can happen to go forward is Him. Ooh,
yeah.
That when you have to step out of the boat, and the more times you do that, it just.
God's good.
That's good.
He's good.
That's great.
Let's see. How about this? Oh, no, Santa.
Okay. Got a Santa Claus story.
Yeah. Florence, Oregon, in an unexpected twist of the holiday season. A man dressed as Santa was arrested for breaking into vehicles in Florence, Oregon on September 15th.
September?
Yes. So this was a couple weeks ago.
Christmas in September.
Yes. Authorities were baffled by the out-of-season antics of the jolly figure. According to the Florence Police Department, officers responded to multiple reports of a man in a Santa suit attempting to break into parked cars near the city center. Witnesses described the suspect as jolly but suspicious. Quote, we've seen some unusual cases, but this one takes the cookies and milk.
I'll be.
Now, listen to this. That's the shift commander for the Florence, Oregon Police Department. Her name is Lieutenant Holly Jolly.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
Holly Jolly.
Holly Jolly is her name.
That worked this story. That worked this.
Yeah. The suspect, identified as 32-year-old Nicholas Canford, was apprehended without incident. Police discovered a sack filled with various items, including a GPS device, a Bluetooth speaker, and several unopened cans of pumpkin-flavored beer. What is that?
That's nasty what that is.
Yeah. Anyway, he was charged with multiple counts of vehicle break-ins and is being held at the Florence City Jail. This is the part of the story that really got me. They started talking to local residents, one named Carol Fitz. This is what happens when you put Trump in the White House. Even Santa has to get a second job.
Here we go. Here we go.
It's that Trump deranged syndrome, that delusional or deranged syndrome.
Yeah.
Everything is Donald Trump's fault in their
Lindbergh
mind.
baby. Trump.
Yep, Trump did it. Yeah, 9/11, he was flying one of them planes. Yeah. The Florence Police Department is reminding citizens to keep their vehicles locked and report any suspicious activity. As for Canford, they said he is still on the naughty list.
You know, Trump got when 9/11 hit, he had that hotel right down there too.
Yeah.
Trump Tower.
Yeah, I'm sure he got some insurance money out of it too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Used that to run for president.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
Need equipment for your next job? Don't settle for the traditional rental experience.
The rental experience with Equipment Share is a great experience. We rent everything from dozers to skid loaders, mini excavators, even smaller hand tools. They've always got what we need. They're timely. The billing is quick and accurate. The guys are able to set it up. They do it through their phone. I love Equipment Share. Renting with Equipment Share is not like any other company out there. It's 1,000 times better.
Buying this boat was a total no-brainer.
Okay, I get it. You say no-brainer and the guy with no brain shows up?
I'm sorry, we met our new boat.
For a new boat? You don't call me. You call State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is...
There?
I was gonna say that.
He's right. Your State Farm agent can help you choose the right coverage for your new boat and your RV. It's kind of a no-brainer. Easy decision.
All right.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Non-stop phone calls, registered mail, repossessions, or threats of lawsuits from creditors, and it seems like no one is willing to let you hit pause and just catch your breath. You need the help of Robert Rushing and the Rushing Law Firm. Bankruptcy is not the end. It could be a chance for a fresh start. The Rushing Law Firm goes to work for you, letting you hit that pause button and start over. Call the Rushing Law Firm today at 870-875-2940 or stop by the office at 725 Northwest Avenue in El Dorado. The Rushing Law Firm.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer. Incidentally, Boomer, I'm glad I'm glad. So either the rapture hasn't happened yet,
or we
missed it.
We'd make it because it was either yesterday or today.
Oh, sorry. Is this thing still on? I didn't know what. Yeah. Incidentally, that's what it would have looked like.
Yeah.
If the rapture had happened.
Yeah.
Just,
Or it would have looked like if we didn't make it.
This is what it would look like if we didn't make it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah. I heard a guy the other day who was talking about Abraham. And he said, man, look, I know Abraham's a friend of God. He said, but God took that man, his name was Abram when he left the house. He come back saying, God done changed my name to Abraham. And he said, and guess what else he said? I need to circumcise all y'all. He's like, no, hold on. He said, now tell me exactly, his words, tell me exactly what it is the Lord said to you. Foreskin. Do you mean, you think he didn't say your skin?
Or how about the time when they convinced all them other fellas in that army that they all needed to be circumcised? And they killed them all the next day. Who was that? That was
one of them.
That was Saul, not Saul. That was David. David and them did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, David was a killing fool, man.
He was. David was bad.
Yeah. So
he was a man for a certain time.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. For such a time as this.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Boomer. Here it is. Our favorite game.
Drunk high or stupid.
Absolutely. It all started on a Tuesday, which should have been a warning sign. 3 young men, Kyle, Tanner, and Devin.
Kyle, Tanner, Devin. Okay.
Yeah, all in their early 20s, stood at the base of an old water tower in their lifelong home of Ellensburg, Washington, gazing up at the towering structure like it was the summit of Mount Everest. I've always wanted to see town from up there, Kyle said, squinting at the metal rungs. Yeah, same, Tanner said, cracking his knuckles. I mean, basically, it's just a ladder, right? Devin, who was scrolling on his phone, looked up and said, guys, what if someone sees us? Kyle says, shut up, Devin, you worry too much. I don't know, climbing a giant rusted tower in the middle of the night doesn't seem normal.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, within minutes, they're all climbing.
Okay.
They're halfway up. They're exchanging high fives, and they're hooping and hooting and hollering and debating physics of water towers and all this. They get to the top, and they're sweaty, and now they're out of breath, and they spray paint their names and from up top, and they just hurl bottles off the top of the water tower and all that, you know. And everything was going good until Kyle went to get a selfie and was leaning over the rail of the platform up there, and the rail gives way. Well, fortunately for Kyle, he was able to grab onto the rail.
Yeah.
Or grab onto the platform.
Yeah.
But now his buddies, they're doing a live TikTok from up there. They're not paying him any attention.
Okay.
And so he kind of shimmies his way over to the metal steps that come up this thing.
Yeah.
And as he sticks his foot over to stand on it, he kicks the side of it accidentally, and the dang thing breaks off.
Oh, the whole stairs to go down?
The whole ladder to climb up breaks
or
off.
Down.
Or down, yeah. They're 200 feet in the air.
Yeah.
It breaks off and flies down to the ground. He's screaming. Well, his buddies stopped their TikTok long enough to run over there and get him and pull him up on the platform.
Yeah.
And then they're like, now what are we going to do?
Yeah.
So they're live on TikTok. They're trying to get anyone to believe them. And everybody's like commenting on their TikTok like, oh, funny, guys. Funny. You know, and they're like, no, we really need someone to believe us and call this, you know, the Ellensburg, Washington Police Department and explain to them. It was the next morning before someone took them seriously.
Oh, man.
And so finally the police department shows up the next morning. And they're like, look at these idiots. What are y'all doing? And now the fire department gets involved. And by 11:15 that morning, they finally got these boys down off of there. Upon touching the ground, however, they were arrested and charged with a number of crimes, including destruction of public property, interfering with government services, trespassing, and more. So, Boomer, here's the question. Were Kyle, Tanner, and Devin drunk, high, or stupid?
Stupid.
Definitely. However, there is a little more to this.
Okay, rest of the story.
One of the charges they were also given was public intoxication.
Okay.
Although
You didn't mention that.
police believe that they did not climb the tower while under the influence, they evidently waited until they reached the top and celebrated by imbibing on top.
They got drunk up there.
Yeah, once they got up there.
Dummies.
They were going to have a drink up there.
Dummies.
Yeah.
And well, you know, if they were in their early 20s.
They're legal.
Their brain wasn't developed.
Well, that's true.
Says 25.
Yeah. Well,
I can send them to war and let them vote, but it's not fully developed.
Listen, I know some of them I wouldn't trust. No, I got some I trust with my life, but some of them, not so much.
So that was drunk and stupid.
Yes, drunk
but
and
they were
stupid.
high because they were up on
they were 200 feet up.
There you go.
That's right. Boomer, let's talk a little bit about what's going on around the area this week. Of course, first and foremost, we got the Share Tournament coming up this weekend, which is going to be a fabulous event. Yeah. And 2 courses over 2 days, and I'm pretty sure it's full.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think they were asking earlier this week about switching some people around. But the Share Tournament, sharefoundation.org or sharefoundation.com, and you can find out more about that there. This is interesting. The Breast Center at Carti is bringing back its annual Mammos and Muffins event. And it's to make receiving your annual screening mammogram easy, comfortable, and convenient. These events take place during the month of October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month and offer special Saturday availability in Russellville, North Little Rock, and El Dorado, as well as expanded daily hours in Pine Bluff. While at Carti, attendees can also enter giveaways and receive free educational materials. You can call the Breast Center at 501-537-MAMO, M-A-M-O, to reserve your time for screening during the event, since space is limited.
Okay, that's a good event.
Let's see. Also kicking off Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October for Team Corey, the Paint the Town Pink.
Paint the Town Pink. I'm sorry, I didn't know
was
where you was
losing
going.
it. I was losing it there for a second. Paint the Town Pink, Team Corey, and that's going to happen the first Saturday in October. And you can find their Facebook page and get more information about that.
Yes.
There. Local author Laura Donna Rivers, who wrote a book called Miracles, will be at the 1988 this Saturday for a book signing beginning at 1 p.m. Bring your book or pick up a copy in the store for the event. The 2025 Union County Job Fair is happening Thursday, October the 9th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Conference Center. Job seekers connect with employers from a wide range of industries and local businesses, discover new opportunities, and take the next step in your career. Businesses, showcase your company and connect with top local talent by setting up a booth. Don't miss the chance to build connections and grow your future right here in Union County. And if you need more information, you can contact the El Dorado Union County Chamber of Commerce. And incidentally, congratulations to them and to their new president and CEO, Stephen Jones.
Stephen Jones, and they just announced that this week and said great hire. That's
I think so.
What we look forward to.
I was when I got the news earlier this week that was going to be announced. I remember talking to Grant Merrill and telling him, I said, "That's a
good hire.
That's a good hire."
Yeah,
so I'm excited. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the chamber, and hopefully we see some great things happen and come out. And I got to tell you, I think Bill Luther did a great job.
Oh yeah, Bill did fine.
Matter of fact, I've never known Bill Luther to not do a good job at anything he's done.
Yeah,
and so I hated to see him retire, but I understand, man, you only got so many years. You want to, save a couple of them to go see grandkids or whatever it is you want to do.
You still get around.
Yeah. Boomer saved all his, but he's used them all now. So now he got to work until he dies.
At least till Jesus comes.
Yeah, until Jesus comes.
Maybe today. Thought I heard the bell.
Yeah,
trumpets.
Thought I heard a trumpet and the voice of an archangel. Yeah. So thank you so much for tuning in with us this week. Thanks to our special guest, Donnie Clayton, for coming on with us here at Main Street Pizza. And thanks to all of our sponsors. Next up for next broadcast we have coming up is going to be Friday night. El Dorado Wildcats will be at home taking on Little Rock Catholic Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
Rockets are 1-2. El Dorado is 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
And Carter Bryant and Jack Sanford on the play-by-play.
Okay.
And they're going to be at the stadium. And we've already been asked, people saying, now next week we're going to Marion. We're going to be there.
Yeah.
We're going to be there. We're going to go cover that.
Yeah.
And
it's a piece, but we're still going.
And we'll go to West Memphis and cover that.
Mm-hmm. But you're going to go straight to the stadium and leave.
Leave, yes, yeah. Don't dilly-dally. Say, well, that guy over there said if you turn, we're not turning.
No.
Turning anywhere. We're going to go.
You're going to lose your wheels.
Right there, yeah. And your life.
Maybe.
It could be. So, all right, that's going to do it for us. Hey, until this same time next week, thank you and God bless.